Hey, Bob, you're watching Dolly Vision.
The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
YouTube, where's the baby? Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Summer Wells is still missing, and we're going to be talking all the latest news, rumors, and gossip right here on Dolly Vision tonight. I am going to open the phone lines because rumors and things have been swirling like a tornado here on YouTube today about Don and Candace Wells, and of course the Summer Wells. And I could have titled the show tonight, The Hills Have Eyes. And we're going to be dealing with a lot of hills, but not the kind that you walk up, the kind that are actually people, okay? The kind that are actually people. But first, I'm only going to say this one time tonight, and you better damn listen, okay? I'm talking to you. Yes, you. I need you to leave your DNA like right over here somewhere, down there on the like button. Your fingerprints. I want your fingerprints on file. Do it up, okay? I don't want to hear no. Don't back talk. Shut your face. Just like the video, okay? Like the damn video, people. Also, if you brand new out there and you watching my ugly face, sub up. Feel free to share us with your meemaw, your pawpaw, your grannies, and your uncles, okay? Share us everywhere. Don't, right on your Facebook. I want my ugly faces plastered right there like this, okay? Do it up. Also, let me give my, I always saw a red truck with her. We're going to get into that red truck and who possibly that red truck belongs to tonight. But first, let me give my warnings. Because we're talking about people that have not been arrested yet. Yet is the key word. And who is talking to the FBI? Anybody know who the snitch is? Does anybody know who the snitch is? Because somebody is talking. Somebody's talking. I think I know who it is. But first, Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy, a whole lot of chaos. Okay? So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. The callers tonight, your opinions are yours alone. Don't get Dolly sued. I'm broke and it's Christmas time. Okay? I'm broke and it's Christmas I need my money. Also, everyone is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. And what does this say? At Dolly, Trev wants you to make some soap and cut him in 35%. T-Rev does. T-Rev or Trev time? Which one? There's a couple of them little dudes running around here like Keebler elves. Okay? I don't know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about Dash and Crash, T-Rev, or somebody else? But anyway, everyone is innocent to proven guilty. And the biggest one of them at home, guys out there, do not try to be Dolly at home. Okay? The last person that did lost his teeth and grew man tits. Okay. True story. Can't make it up. He's door dashing as we speak. Okay. He's door dashing as don't try to be Dolly. It is extremely, extremely, extremely dangerous. Okay. Where do we start with this? You know, on the 13th, TBI, FBI, Hawkins County Police, they made a raid on a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, which is about 9.5 miles from Ben Hill Road, right? You got Van Hill Road, Ben Hill Road. It's all in a location that's a very rural area, and it's not very far. Well, it's 9 miles from the house, but a pretty good straight shot down Beach Creek will take you to Van Hill Road, which will also take you to the main interstate section. So we get word that the police have moved in on that location. Now, locals have been hitting me up today and said they've been seeing a bunch of trucks carrying dirt leaving that area. Now, here's the thing. We haven't heard about anybody digging in the area, right? We haven't heard about no digging. I heard about trucks leaving with dirt, and I think some of the locals are thinking, are they out there digging? Now, it could just be passing work trucks, like dump trucks that are moving through that area, because a lot of people use this area as a cut through. So I don't know if they're really digging, because people have been leaving comments on the earlier videos that Dolly, they're out there digging. We're seeing all these dump trucks go by. I don't really know if they're out there digging. I don't think they are. They went out there, and we're not quite sure at this present time what they found at these locations. Paula and Piggy, thank you for being here, and thank you for jumping on the Bless Express. Every dollar counts, right? Every dollar counts. Them bad boys add up. Dollars lead to fives, fives lead to tens, tens lead to 20s, 20s lead to hundreds. That's how I look at it. Like dropping it in the piggy bank, Piggy. So I think these may be trucks just moving through that area. Now, there's so much going on about who's being blamed and why they're blaming it. But the odd thing is this. We know that the resident belongs to Paul Hill, which is an 80-year-old man. There's some other people in the family like Randy Hill. Now, Randy Hill has been said to have a red Tacoma. And there's rumors swirling around the internet that Randy may have been working for the tree cutting service at the time that was out there cutting on Ben Hill Road. Now, I'm not talking about the Hills tree trimming service. I'm talking about, what was it, Davies tree cutting service that was out in that area at that time. People are alleging, now this is just rumors, gossip, that Richard was out there working or was out there while this tree service was there and may have hit Summer Wells with a red Tacoma truck and then covered it up. All right. Has anybody heard that rumor yet? That one was like, I was like, holy hell, that's a little bit crazy. Connie says, Dolly, what is the code for soap discount? I'm glad you asked. Right now, I am running a special. BuyDollySoap.com. Say it with me. BuyDollySoap.com. All my soap, bar soap and body wash, is half off with the promo code Dolly Rocks. One word, all capital, Dolly Rocks. It is the biggest saving we have done to date. Promo code is for 50% off soaps, lotions, not lotions. Lotions are still full price. But soaps and body wash, 50% off. makes great stocking stuffers, helps support the channel, and it cleans up these dirty ass YouTube streets one butt crack at a time. Okay, I'm saving the world. Dolly is saving the world. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Please hit the thumbs up, says Sylvie. Thank you for being here with me, guys. So anyway, like I was saying, there's people rumoring that, you know, that this Richard Hill gentleman was out there, may have, you know, been the one in the red Tacoma truck. Remember, they were looking for this red truck, and then, you know, when you started looking for the red truck, it's like everybody had a red truck. I'm not missing the ride. Buckle up, Buttercup. Steffers is jumping on the Blessed Express with us. Thank you for being here tonight. You know, tonight's going to be full of rumors, gossip, and a little bit of news, because we do know that the feds, TBI, and Hawkins County are still actively working on the Summer Wells case, which to me, thank you, Jesus. That is the best news we could get, that they're still taking this really seriously. And the big question is this, and we'll get into the rumors, but I want y'all to kick this around on in your mind. Who has tipped the police off? Who has told the FBI to check out the Hills? Right? And now, you know, we come to find out that Andy and Fred Hill, they're like first cousins. The guy at this house that they're searching, the area around his house, is their granddad and their great granddad. That all these people, believe it or not, are connected on the Hill. Also, this is where Don Wells allegedly got his DUI. Not only that, allegedly, this is where Candace in this area likes to go fishing. Okay, so something is up. Now, I said earlier tonight, I believe that all these people at the time that this was going down, I believe they were involved in a drug ring. Okay, that Candace's family wasn't completely wrong when she called in and said, Dolly, they're connected to Spider's connected to this dude. They are running, I'm just going to say Breaking Bad. Y'all know what drug that is, right? Breaking Bad. It's, you know, the immigration police, but they use another word for it. Okay. All these people were connected, and they were all hanging in the Hill. And a lot of these people were going to Fred Hill to buy drugs. Right now, you got Andy, which is, I didn't notice until just recently that he's kin to Fred Hill. Okay. And then, of course, you got Jody Sue Brown tied into this. And what is with this, right? Because there's so many different rumors. There's rumors coming out today that Don Wells sold a video of some things inappropriately being done to Summer, trigger warning people, for $5,000. Anybody hear that rumor? That rumor's circulating around. And we know there were some strange things with the whole Don Wells showering with his kid thing. A lot of people are saying that, I hate to say this, but a lot of people are saying that they were pimping out Summer Wells. Horrible is that is to say. It is crazy, right? It's just crazy. Fred Hill is married to Ziggy, okay? And of course, Ziggy is defending her new family, right? She's saying, oh, people are looking into the wrong person. He ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, when we look into Paul, the guy that owns this house, he's an 80-year-old man. He don't have no criminal record. He seems to be a good guy. But maybe he's just the property owner, right? Some people are rumoring there's a pig farm there. And for anybody that don't know, pigs will completely eat you, okay? Pigs usually eat just about anything, especially hogs. I'm going to say this now. A lot of people say pigs will eat anything they want. I used to raise pigs. Y'all wouldn't know that about Dolly, but you know I am a little bit of a country boy, and I used to raise pigs, and my pigs were pretty picky about what they would eat, Okay. Now, hogs, they ain't picky. They eat anything except your teeth and your hair. Okay. So if you're going to feed somebody to the pigs, first thing you would have to do is knock their teeth out. Jamie, Dolly, did you hear the phone call with Candace on the phone, puking drunk, gagging, and can hear her digging in the dirt? Yes. And now listen, I want to share this with y'all because I have discussed this phone call multiple times with Ernie Shell. Okay. For you guys that don't know, a lot of Candace and Don Wells' friends have been in contact with me and PJ for a long time. The lady that Candace was staying with when Don was in jail, she was taking care of her horses. And that woman's really sick right now, so she needs your prayers, okay? But she's a friend of Dolly and PJ's for a long time, and she really, believe it or not, loves Candace to death. Does she trust Candace? She honestly told me she thinks that they're covering something up, but she thinks just like me that Candace wouldn't kill Summer Wells, okay? But she's really close to Candace, and she's going through a lot of stuff right now. She might not make it. But at that time, Candace was staying with her. This is what she's alleging. Now, I can't tell you if it's true or not, but she says that when Ernie was talking to Candace on the phone, she was right there. And they were standing in her gravel driveway at her horse farm. And that Candace allegedly was faking being and like she was at the time, though. She said Candace was sick, but not sick like she was allegedly on the phone call. Now, this is coming from Candace's really close friend that Candace was staying with. We're going to say allegedly. Okay. And we keep up with her pretty regular, and that's how I know she's really sick right now and she might not make it. 447 likes and 1K in the chat. Okay, I'm giving y'all the scoop on some things. Y'all better hit that damn like button. Okay, I'm gonna rate. I had the best. I ain't even got to the good part yet. I ain't even got to the good stuff yet. Y'all ain't even liked the video. Look, let's hit 1,000 real quick. All right, y'all just like it up real fast. That way we ain't got to interrupt and keep telling you to like it. And then I don't sound like an 84 Buick used car salesman. Look, low miles, one owner, Black Friday deal. Okay, we're running a Black Friday sale right now on the like button. Okay, Bolo. You like it today, you get to like it tomorrow for absolutely free. Okay. So according to this, that phone call was fake, and Candace wasn't at a site where she was digging up Summer Wells. Okay, because so many people believe that. When I heard it, the first thing I thought was, okay, this don't sound right. It sounds like she's digging something. It sounds like a shovel hitting the ground, and she's puking, and she's all over the place. But according to Candace's friend, Candace was trying to play victim, so Ernie would feel sorry for her, because I think at some point Candace kind of had a thing for Ernie, right? Y'all remember that? She was kind of like goo goo gaga eyed for Ernie Shell, Mr. Super Soldier, Mr. Chip in the Brain. Okay. Y'all remember that, right? Everybody, we on the same page. She also was the same way for Mr. Benny Keys, Blood Money member Keys. Remember, she was sitting there with an aluminum foil hat on, just staring at Benny like she wanted to do him like she did Hunter. Y'all remember that, right? We all on the same page here, right? Everybody been following around. Everybody been following along with this, right? All right. Still does. Okay. So, she was kind of like that she kind of has like the schoolyard crush on people at times, right? So I don't know if it was real or not. I don't know how to weigh that out. I want to believe the lady, but I don't know what reason she would have to be fibbing or whatever it may be. But at the same time, I still find that phone call very strange. And I also find how she was acting with Ernie Shell very strange, right? Remember, she came out in the gas station. Ernie had the damn snaggletooth, damn alligator hat on. and he had his arm around Candace, and he was like, "We're about to blow the lid off this. Candace wants to tell," and he does a video, but Candace don't say nothing. Right? It's a lot of stuff going on, and all these people have blamed each other. It's kind of like Sarah and Stacey Wandra. Stacey blamed this one. You got to look at Fred Hill has done said shit. Jody Sue Brown. So remember they said they were over medicating kids out there and that they were like essaying children. And then you got Jody Sue Brown's son that's allegedly a peeper. You got Don Wells that's allegedly breaking in houses, stealing panties. You got the Richard Hill guy. Randy, not Richard. Randy Hill. Sylvie, thank you so much. That allegedly has this red truck. And then, it's weird because a Hill is allegedly had that same truck. And people had said they had seen a red truck from time to time at Fred Hill's house. Right? So somebody in this group between Fred Hill, Ziggy, Jody Sue Brown, Andy Bernard, right? Don and Candace, or somebody at that residence is talking. And I doubt that the residence, because that's where they showed up. Are your clothes half off too? Are my clothes half off? No, I'm fully dressed. Okay. It's going to cost you a lot more than $10 to get me half naked. No, my merch, my shirts, I don't think are on sale. I'm not positive. I don't think so, though. I think it's just the soaps and body washes are 50% off with promo code. Only on soap, the producer said. Okay, only on soap. So thank you for your donation, Haley. But yeah, our soaps are the best soaps out there. You can't go wrong. The only thing you can't clean up is these grease balls on Ben Hill Road or Van Hill Road. Ain't none of that. But I was sitting around here thinking today, I was like, well, who could have called the FBI? Right? Who's the newest one in this equation? Okay. Who's the newest person to come into the fold? Right? Does anybody know? The newest person. I started thinking to myself, who's new? If they all haven't talked, but they've added one new person to their cult, who is that person? Country girl, right? Ziggy, right? Now Ziggy's the first one to get online and defend these people. You ever heard that saying, the one who smelt it dealt it? That's what it made me think. I was like, is Ziggy talking? Is Ziggy an informant and she's maybe saying something? Right? Because who goes out and gets close with a suspect in the disappearance of small children? Ain't that's the guy you want to hook up with, right? Like if you just said, so many people said I was really trying to marry Leilani Simon in Georgia. But do you think I have a kid? Do you think I ever would have brought that woman around my kid? I'd have never married that woman. That was trolling and joking. Trying to order Turtle Spell and Cotton Candy says it's sold out. PJ, producer, Cotton Candy and Love Spell saying it's sold out. Restock it in the store. She's going to fix it for you here in just a minute, honey. Honey child. I would just call you honey because then it sounds like I'm being all sweet to you, right? But no, she'll fix it. We have more. She just didn't put it all on the store. So she's going to make sure everything's right on the store here in just a few minutes. So try back in just a few minutes and we'll have that for you. All right. But I started thinking who's doing the talking, and it has to be somebody close to the situation. Dolly needs a bullhorn. No, I definitely don't need no bullhorn. But I was thinking whoever's talking, the FBI, the TBI, and Hawkins County took this person real serious. So whoever's talking, it seems like they're pointing to Ziggy has made $100K covering Summer Wells and marries Fred Hill. There's no way she's made $100K Ziggy on YouTube in her whole lifetime. Okay. Ziggy don't even do that good on views. So I know she ain't made no 100K off Summer Wells. A lot of people out here think you make more money than you do on YouTube, right? AdSense revenue. Right now, AdSense revenue is kind of good because it's Christmas, coming up on Christmas. So they pay you a little bit better around Christmas time for commercials. But usually, AdSense revenue is really, really low. Like you got to really like be getting hundreds of thousands of views to be making any kind of money. And I don't think Ziggy is a big enough YouTuber to have made anywhere near that. Okay. And if she did, I'm jealous. Okay. I need some, I'm broke as hell. You talking about Ziggy done made $100,000. I don't know. I doubt that. I doubt that's true. But somebody's definitely talking to the police. And did they find anything is the question. And what did they actually go there looking for? That's what is this? Wash your guilt away, says Sidekick. Listen, we can't wash murder off of you. If you're murdering kids, listen, my soap will get you clean, but it don't clean up that type of stuff, right? And what is going on around that area or that property? And it did they find what they were looking for, the FBI, or did they just go there to rattle some cages? Now, here's the thing. I don't want to give anybody no hints or clues, but usually when the FBI shows up, they may start tapping your phone. They may start trying to intercept communications. And sometimes they show up to get you scared. Now, there's rumors right now that Don Wells, while they were raiding this property, was calling Fred Hill. I thought Fred Hill and Don were enemies. Why would Don be calling Fred Hill? Now, these are the rumors on the internet. Listen, I'm just a messenger. I didn't make these rumors up. These are things that are being said on different channels that, you know, he was trying to get in contact with Fred Hill as they were raiding this area in the search for whatever they were searching for. And how did they know at the time that it was searching for Summer? We didn't learn that they were searching the Summer till days later when it actually hit the news, because they did this search on the 13th, but it really didn't break out until like the 17th, 18th, right? That's what Ziggy said, that Don Wells was trying to call him. Listen, because all these people were friends, right? Ziggy verified Don has tried to call Fred. See what I mean? See what I mean? This is like they're all in cahoots together. All these people are in cahoots together. Steffer says, jump on. There's plenty of room on the Dolly train, right? Look, you on the Blessed Express, Steffers. You ain't blessed unless you ride an express. Look, and I guarantee you this, Steffers. Tomorrow, you will have the best day you've had all month. I'm telling you. You ain't blessed unless you on the express. This good thing's gonna be flowing. That good energy, you're just gonna be like radiating it, right? Because that's what happens when you get on the Blessed Express and you rock with Dolly. Good things. When you put good energy out in the world, good energy comes back. Now, these people out here, you know, we've always heard that the hills have eyes, but it's more like the eyes have the heels, right? There's a bunch of heels in them heels. You best believe FBI been around. Listen, the FBI don't come a knocking for nothing. And when they show up, they know things. They show up to see if you are going to lie to them. So whatever they did, they showed up to question people. These people all inbred hillbillies from Deliverance. You never know. I just recently watched the movie Wrong Turn, and yeah, you don't want to be making a wrong turn in the wrong area in the hills. So somebody knows something. So the FBI shows up, and I'm going to give you a prime example of this. I've had the feds roll up on me, U.S. Marshals, right? I was in D.C. January 6th, filming at the Capitol building where everybody was out there raiding the building, and I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but I was just out there videotaping. So about a year later, I had just got done live. No, I had just got up. I was getting ready to live stream, and I hear a knock at my door. So some of y'all may know this story, but if you do, just bear with me. And I'm like, I wonder who this is. And I open the door, and there's an FBI agent standing at my front door. He's like, I'm federal officer so-and-so. I heard what he said, right? And he's like, can I speak to, he said my name, but we just say Dolly Vision. Can I speak to Dolly, right? And I was like, I'm him. He's like, he reaches in, he grabs my wrist. He's like, step out here on the porch, let me talk to you for a minute. And right there when he grabbed me, I thought in my head, I'm going to jail, right? That's my first thought, because why would he grab me? You know? So he had a little clipboard. When I'm stepping out onto the porch, I asked him again, I said, who are you? I heard who he was, but I was still in shock. And he repeated, I'm federal agent so-and-so, and this is officer so-and-so with the U.S. Marshals. So it was the FBI and the U.S. Marshals at my house. When I looked over at the U.S. Marshal, I was like, yeah, I'm going to jail, right? Ruby Joy, thank you for gifting that membership. He said, I got a question for you. And I was like, what's that? He was like, where was you January 6th? And I was like, I was in D.C. And he was like, where at in D.C.? I was like, well, what time of day? He was like, in the evening time of January 6th. I was like, oh, I was at the Capitol building. And he goes, well, what was you doing at the Capitol building? Right? And I said, well, I'm a YouTuber, and I was up there videotaping. He goes, I know you run these channels. And he listed off every YouTube, even some of my dummy accounts, he knew. I don't know if he had the IP or whatever he had, but he knew every channel I ran, my conspiracy channel, everything, right? And he was like, are you part of any organizations? And I was like, nah, man. I was like, I swear to you, this is what I said to him. I said, I don't even have a YMCA membership. I was like, because he was kind of suggesting was I'm part of like the Proud Boys or Antifa or anybody. Yes, I think the brothers do know something, Army Mom. And he basically said, he asked me where I stayed. He knew where I stayed, what hotel I stayed in. He knew what I was driving. He knew how I got to the event. He knew everything. But he asked me these questions, and every time I would answer him, he'd be like, I knew that, and he'd check off something. So he had everything I had already done written down. And I think he just wanted to see if I would lie to him, right? So I'm just thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, how does this dude know all this shit, right, on me, right? But he did. And then at the end of it, he goes, why would somebody call the FBI on you? That's what he said. Somebody called the FBI on me. And I was like, because at first I thought they just showed up, right? But no, somebody called the FBI on me. I guess a troll or whatever it may be, but it was enough that they had me on camera and they had watched all my videos. The FBI had to watch all my videos, right? He's like, I seen what you posted from the federal building, right? And I was just thinking, damn, right? Damn, right? He's like, I took all those videos down, but they had done seen them. The FBI had done seen the videos. I don't know if they copied them, what they did, but it had me breaking no laws. He said, did you see the no trespassing signs? And I looked at this FBI agent. I said, nah, man, I got there late. I did. I showed up late. Thank God I overslept. I showed up late. I jumped on the subway. By the time I got there, where they were fighting with the police at the building, that had already happened. So I wasn't there for that. And by that time, they had tore the gates down, and there was no trespassing signs because they had tore the gates down. So the time I got there, I told him, I said, man, if I was trespassing, the police, I was at the thing, and the police told me I could cross the street and come over to it. They helped me cross the road. They stopped traffic, right? And he was like, so you never seen the no trespassing signs? I said, no. I got there late. I was like, this is the train that I was on, and there was no way I could have seen it. I wasn't there for it when they were fighting with the police. I got there right before the girl got shot. Y'all remember the girl got shot and lost her life? I got there right about that time. So they had already stormed the building before I got there. Well, in process of it. So he was like, all right, well, you need to get a VPN so people are not reporting your locations to the FBI and calling the FBI on you, because we got multiple calls about you, right? So when the FBI, long story short is, when the FBI shows up, they already know, right? They're there to verify what they already know is what they're showing up for. Because if not, they would send a patrol car, or they would just send the U.S. Marshals, right? If he would have caught me in a lie, in one lie, I would have been sitting in jail till Donald Trump got me out. Okay? One lie. But I had nothing to lie about, because I didn't have no reason to lie. I said, this is the truth. This is everything that happened. All of it's on video. You done said you've seen the videos, but they knew everything. The FBI is not like the police. The police come up, they don't even know who you are, right? They don't, the FBI got pictures of you. They got a damn folder with who your mama is, who your daddy is, where you grew up at, where you went to school, what your damn grade point average is. They got all that. They got everything. And you can believe the FBI don't come for nothing, right? They know something. You've done something to get them there to that location. So I believe whatever tip has been given is a credible tip, and it may shake something loose, and the FBI is on top of it. Okay. That was terrible that those people suffered in jail. Well, they sat there a long time. It's a bad thing. I'm just thankful I wasn't there with them, So, but like I said, I know better than to do stupid things. And Don Wells called the FBI on you. I wouldn't doubt it. No, I think it was this YouTube channel or somebody that was just mad, or just trying to troll or whatever it was. But I don't know what they told him. I think it was that I had entered the building and that I was part of some organization, which wasn't true, and by the end of it, the FBI is telling me how to protect myself so stuff like this don't happen again. And that's some serious stuff when you do something like that, because it's the same thing as sending the police to somebody's house and tell them they did something, and then the police show up and hurt somebody. That could happen, and then you're responsible for it because you called in a fake call. It's just like, that's the same as calling the police on somebody and telling them I'm committing a crime and I haven't done that. Next thing you know, somebody show up at my house and shoot me or something crazy, and I haven't done nothing. But even he said, well, we're glad it went this way instead of something bad happening. But he was like, your man in black. Well, I don't think he was wearing black. I think he was wearing blue, like a dark blue. And the U.S. Marshal was wearing a police outfit. So it wasn't like Will Smith and damn, what's his name? James Earl Jones. It wasn't quite like that. Okay. It wasn't like the movie. They didn't hit me with a little, look at this light. They were like, I went in and I gave away my channel, my conspiracy channel. I gave that to Buddha Mike. He still runs it right to this day. I think he changed the name of it, but the channel was called Truth Be Told, right? It was my other YouTube channel. It was my conspiracy channel. Tommy Lee Jones. Okay. Yeah, close enough. I had the Jones part right. But it wasn't quite like that. It was more scary. It was like a bad horror movie. It's like when you wake up and you wake up and it's a bad dream. It was like that. I was literally, when I came back inside, I was shook. I was just thinking, damn, I'm just so happy that I ain't in jail right now. Because when I looked over and seen that U.S. Marshal, I was thinking, okay, they're going to arrest me and they're going to drive my ass 4 hours back to D.C. and I'm going to be sitting in a jail cell. But like I'm saying, the FBI don't show up for nothing. And when they do, they have done their research before they hit that location, right? So whatever's going on Ben Hill Road, somebody with a credible lead has tipped these people off to Van Hill Road. All right, let me share this on the screen because this is the area. And, it does appear that there is a little pond on this property, near this property anyway. Now, I haven't went through and searched the whole area for different lakes, but, we do know that Don Wells himself liked to frequent this area. Candace liked to frequent this area. And we know that day, right, that Candace had left the hill twice. How many people remember that? Everybody been doing their homework? Everybody been keeping up with this story from the beginning? They may have been looking in this lead for a while. I said the same thing, right? So if they hit the house on the 13th, right? They hit the house on the 13th. If it's not Ziggy, my guess is the PI. I don't think it's a PI. I think this is somebody close enough to somebody that they took it very, very seriously. All right. Now, I'm not saying it's Ziggy. I'm just saying Ziggy is the latest one to come into the fold, right? Say we've been doing crime for 20 years. Now somebody's talking and we got one new person in the group. I'm going to kind of look at that new person first, right? You're going to be my first subject of, hey, is this person talking? But would you marry somebody and then tell on their family? Would you? This is there's a lot of women in here right now. Okay. T-Rev looks like he's from the same area as all these folks. What's with all the T-Rev talk in the chat? Did I miss something? I mean, because he got man boobs and no teeth. Is that why y'all saying he looks like he's from this area? LOL, it was Reverend Donna. It definitely wasn't. Okay. That woman has been to prison. Right? Like, this whole psychic thing. Listen. There's some people out here in this world that use things to exploit situations. Okay. Now listen, let me blow myself up because I want to get to the point of this real quick, and then I'll get back to the map. Who is more psychic than Dolly? Ashley Buzzard. Okay. Remember, she was just recently arrested. I said that dude made up all that. They're trying to railroad her. It's fake. Today, all right, all charges dropped against Ashley Buzzard. Who called that? Who called that? Dolly. You know why? Because I'm smart enough to know that don't make me psychic. This lady's a reverend. She's a psychic. She's an ex-con. Like, guys, listen, I don't think that all psychics are bad. I don't. I truly don't. Palm readers, you guys are cool. Tarot cards, great. But there are a lot of con artists in this world. All right. The lady seems pleasant. She seems lovely. I watch her videos every now and then. I know Ziggy and Fred Hill were up there. I understand that. But what I'm trying to tell you is this woman is no more psychic than me. Okay? No more psychic than me. Matter of fact, if we put my batting average against hers, you know, I'm like World Series Yankee. She's like the Mets. Okay? We ain't even close in our. I have predicted way more things right than this woman could, just from common sense and true crime, than she would ever humanly get right. I know some of y'all like, F you, Dolly. I love Donna. And you can. She seems like a sweet woman. I'm just telling you, Ziggy claims she is a tarot reader. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had a dream Dolly would say this, right? They trust me, they knew I was going to be talking about this today because they're psychics. Okay, they're psychics. They knew what Dolly was going to say. Listen, do not buy into that guy. If you're watching it for entertainment purposes, like you just want some entertainment, like, you know, when I turn on Shameless or I watch, what have I been watching lately? Like Next 48 Hours. Well, no, that's real. Let me think. I'll be watching Wednesday on Netflix. Okay. Do I believe that there's werewolves and shit and you know Dracula? No, no. I watch it for entertainment. So if you're watching psychics for entertainment, I get it. It's entertaining, you know. Um, but it's not legitimate. Not these YouTube psychics. Okay, there may be some people out there that do have premonitions. Your what is it, Edward Casey? Remember Miss Cleo? They might, right? Everybody always wants to get me triggered on the psychic stuff because they know I don't buy into the psychic things, right? Is there people that's had visions, premonitions? Yeah, and God gives people these premonitions, but do they have them all the time? I don't believe that they can tap into a case and predict things. Listen, if I guess a million different things, I'm eventually going to be right. And then should I be like, well, I told you so? Because right now I can be like that right now because of the Ashley Buzzard stuff. I said that shit, what, a week ago? Back, watch the videos. I said, this is all made up. They ain't going to do nothing. She didn't pull a knife on nobody. She never did that, a box cutter to anybody else. She has all these people in the front yard. Why wouldn't she attack one of those people? She ain't. They're going to drop the charges against her. They're trying to railroad her into talking. And that was absolutely 100% right. Now, listen, you know how I knew that? Because I'm psychic. Okay. From now on, y'all call me Reverend Dolly Vision, the greatest psychic to ever do it on these YouTube streets. No, I just been in true crime long enough that I know. And if you guess a million things, you're eventually going to be right about some of them. So, you know, I don't wish the lady, you know, no ill will towards the lady, but I just don't buy it, you know. Now, her interviewing people and sleuthing, I think that's a good thing. And I tell you what I really hate is these people that say they talk to your dead loved ones and they be like, well, your mama wants me to tell you I love you. And of course, that's your mother's. They should love you. It's so general. Oh, I'm seeing a name. It starts with a M. Is it Mary? Is it Marie? And then they go, oh, I got a cousin Mary. Yeah, your cousin Mary is coming through, and she's with your mother. She's with Mary's with your mother right now, and she wants you to know your mother is. You know, it's like that. They use what you give them, and then they take that and they run with it. And people, when they're hurt and they miss their loved ones, they will buy into that stuff because that's what they want to hear, right? Reverend Psychic Dolly. From now on, nothing else will be accepted. Just be like, Rev Dolly. No, because that sounds too much like T Rev. Don't do it. Just call me Dolly Sarah Vision. And remember in Jack and Lily, where she said they were in a pumpkin patch? I see power lines, and I see pumpkins. And I see a dirt road. Okay. And then people go in on MapQuest and they find a pumpkin patch. Y'all remember all that? I'm the Dalai Lama. Probably hung out with your mama. Okay. There you go. I think it's a form of fraud and conning people is what I think. And I think psychics are probably people use psychic abilities to be the biggest cons in the world. And like I said, I don't buy it, me myself. Okay. Now let's get back to what we were talking about before y'all so sidetracked me with the Donna. There's not a night that a missing kid goes by that somebody does not bring that lady's name up. Okay. And far as I know, she has said some things that may have been, close guessing, but she has never solved a case. She has never found a missing kid. Ever. All right. She may have, guessed a million things and got one or two things right. Maybe in the Lori Daybell case, she may have got a couple things right. But what about all the 100 other cases that she was dead wrong on? Does that make you psychic? Look at the Austin Drummond case. I'm the only person up here on the internet that said they're going to arrest 4 people. It's all gang related. How many people got arrested? 4 people got arrested. It was all gang related. Go back and watch the videos. Just knocking them off one by one. Right about the Michael Monkey Vaughn stuff. Homeboy's arrested. Dolly has the vision. That is absolutely right. Because I just use common sense. Right? Common sense. I sleuth. I look for these answers. I just don't go make up some stuff for a video. It's pretty bad. Okay, so back on topic. There is a lake in this area. You can see it over here. And one of these people, I believe, Dolly Vision, $4.99 a minute. I wish, right? Mark, I wish it was $4.99 a minute. I'd be living in a mansion like Miss Cleo. All right. I'm going to get me a 1-900 number. 1-900 Dolly tell you your future. Okay. You're going to be a little bit broker. Rev Dolly Vision. Where is Jack and Lily? Jack and Lily has been taken down a trail on a 4-wheeler. And I believe it's an inside job from that family. And to be honest with you, okay. Hey, ma'am, I got your email today, but I was out running around. So I may take care of that after I get off here in just a little bit, okay? But I got your email. I just wanted you to know. I ain't ghost you. I was out today running around with PJ, so I haven't got time to send that over to you yet. But, there is like a little bit of water there. And, we know that what the rumors, because we got to be honest, a lot of this is just rumors right now. Were they searching this water? Were they searching adjacent properties? Because, there's some outbuildings on these properties. And it's a pretty heavily wooded area. The whole Van Hill Road section is. And it's right on like the border of Greensville in Hawkins County. It's like right on the border of that. Now, of course, to get out and search an area like this after 4 years, 4.5 years of Little Summer going missing, you have to think that by now, let's be honest, Summer Wells is not with us. All right. This little girl is not with us anymore. And I think most people have came to accept that. I know we have the age progressed photo of Summer Wells, and I think that's a great thing, just in case she was missing. And a lot of people believe that she was sold. Does that happen? Yes. Right? They're constantly rescuing kids. They are. But I just don't think Summer Wells was sold into cartel. Usually trafficking is done by the cartel, right? And I just don't think this is a case where Summer Wells was sold into sex slavery, and nobody's seen her when she's one of the biggest cases in the country as far as it goes for missing kids. Summer Wells has got a lot of attention. The age progression guy should be fired. I know he made her look like she's like 14, didn't he? It's crazy. It's crazy. What she be? What 10 years old now? Going 11, going on 11. But the pictures looks like she's almost a damn grown ass woman. I know. I was a little taken back by the age progression too. I think AI would have done a better job of age progression. That's what we ought to do. Is put her photo into AI and tell AI to age progress it. And I bet you it's more accurate than what was it the Center for Lost and Missing Exploited Kids? Listen, I'm not knocking the Center for Lost and Missing Exploited Kids. They do great. John Walsh, hero, angel to missing kids, right? Like we need more people like him, but tragedy struck his family and his son, and he dedicated his whole life to advocating for missing kids. And thank God, I know he's a little controversial, a little bit with his daughter. Remember all that stuff that was going on? But far as what he's done for missing kids in this country, I don't think no other person has done as much for missing kids than John Walsh. Okay. I think when it comes to it, he is officially like the man, like the GOAT of lost and misexploited children. He has done, you look at all these flyers that we see everywhere, like in Walmart, that's all because of John Walsh. That's it. That's all him, right? That's his organization, America's Most Wanted, and the people that have been captured and the predators that have been taken off the street because of John Walsh. I look at that dude like a hero. He's like the GOAT of true crime when it comes to this, as far as bringing awareness to what is going on in our world with people, these monsters and people that hurt kids. You can't mess with that guy. Now I know there was some controversy with him and his daughter, their kid and his grandkid, and they were fighting, and everybody has their thing, right? But you take that little bit of bad out, and he has done a lot of good for a lot of families and helped a lot of people, and he deserves the praise that he gets. When I sat there and listened to his story at CrimeCon about his son, and they kicked his son out of the department store. He left him playing a video game. These video games had just came out, and they basically made the little kid leave the store because his mama had walked off to do some shopping, and they sent the little boy outside the store. And then that's when that dude grabbed his son. But if they probably would have never kicked him out that store, they would have never got him. And to hear John Walsh talk about it, I felt so bad for him. But I think God puts people in certain places for certain reasons. And bad as it sounds, I think John Walsh had a big mission in this world. And that's how God chose to get in the devil to put him into place. I think it took a little bit of work of God and the devil to give us John Walsh that we know today, because the devil is the one that sent that monster to grab his son, and God is the one that gave him the strength to fight back and put him in the place that he's in today of power and leadership, right? So nothing but respect for John Walsh. I look up to that man, right? Strong dude. Wow, right? Just wow. But yeah, this is an age progression done from lost, missing, exploited children. I mean, you can't win them all, right? I mean, sometimes they're a little off, right? They're a little off. And I believe that image, was a little off. But I get what people are saying, that, she appeared a lot older in that photo. Now, like I said, there is a lake on this property. We know that Don Wells was familiar with this area, right? We know Fred Hill is really familiar with this area. I mean, it's his family, right? We know Andy is familiar with this area. What we also know is poles outside of this property had Summer Wells's photos on it. Now, why were these pictures here? Why go 9 miles out into the country that's nowhere near anything else and put up pictures of Summer Wells? Because then you look like, oh, we wouldn't hurt a child. Look, we're helping look for a child. We're bringing awareness. But at the same time, I'm not saying, Paul, because a lot of people saying that the old man that lives here on this property is a good guy. He's never did anything criminal, but he does have family. And what if his family has done something bad and they have done drugged this man into a situation to where maybe they use this area as a dump spot? Everybody was familiar with this area, because usually when you break the law, you're going to do it somewhere where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, where you feel like you will get away with it at. Right? So maybe they felt safe going, okay, well, we could go out here in the middle of the night and we can hide something. And if anybody sees us, they ain't going to think nothing of it. Right? We're family. Right? They won't think, I live around woods. If I looked outside and one of my cousins were out there, I'd be like, oh, well, they just stopping up here to see me. But what if they ran and threw a body in the woods behind my house? Because I live around a bunch of woods. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't think nothing of it. And I think people that maybe one of his family members that hung out with Don Wells, like Fred, like Andy, all these people are enemies now. But at the time, all these people were friends. And I think that if we look, Don Wells goes to jail, then Fred goes to jail. Then after Fred goes to jail, other people go to jail. I believe that a lot of these people have been doing some talking. And whoever it is right now is talking. And I don't think whoever it is a heel. I think it's somebody that knows what the heels have done. And that ain't saying that all of these people are bad. But somebody on their team is. And the FBI believes that, or the FBI would not be there. Okay, TBI, FBI working together, they're not showing up for nothing. So, what do they know that we don't know, that we've been sleuthing into the whole time? Now, somebody said one of these heels is a preacher. Now, I don't know which heel that is. Is Ernie Shell believable? I don't know him. That's a hard question to answer. Okay. Is Ernie Shell believable? I think on some things, Ernie Shell is absolutely believable. And then there's some things that he lies. Okay. I got to just be truthful. Ernie will make some shit up quick as can be. Okay. Quick as you can make it up. I mean, he says he's a super soldier and he has a brain chip in his head. All right. Ernie has mental health problems. Okay. Sometimes Ernie is perfectly fine. I've held many a conversation with Ernie, talked to you normal as can be. Just believable as hell. Really tried to get justice for Summer. That's true. He was out there. He was digging. I think, honestly, for Ernie to be a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if he is, he was the closest to solving the case. Because sometimes it takes crazy people to catch crazy people. Now, Ernie also walks in traffic and sometimes don't know who he is and does a little bit of bad things, puts bad substances in his body that he shouldn't. But in general, I like Ernie Shell. I think Ernie's a good guy. He gets a little, it comes and goes. For anybody that's been around people that have mental health problems, sometimes they're fine. If they're on their meds and they're doing right, they're good. As soon as they're not on their meds and they start doing drugs, and next thing you know, they're walking in traffic, screaming, "Don't tase me, bro." Right? For anybody that's been around, we know what Ernie brings to the table. Okay? But listen, I'm not knocking Ernie, because I think Ernie was closer to solving it than I ever was. Okay? I believe he's gotten a lot farther in this than me. Far as them breaking. Now, there's been nights that we've sat on the phone with Candace that we never recorded, where she was crying and talking about regrets. And I believe she has slipped up, one time and said something, and I've always thought it was weird. And I want to share the story, which it may not have nothing to do with anything, but I just want to share it with you guys. And you don't got to believe me, but you're going to listen because you tuned in, right? So, Candace would always need money to get drunk, right? She always gave us that, oh, I'm $30 short on this, or I'm short on this, right? Well, it's just a guilt trip. So you'll give her a cash app so she can get a bottle of liquor, right? But I ain't stupid. I know what you're doing with the money. But occasionally I would give, try to help her out and give her some money. So she's just crying, drunk, drinking some damn Black Velvet, right? And there's two parts to this story. So she tells me, she's talking about regrets or something. And she's just like, I wish I had never let Summer play by that truck. I was thinking, where the hell did that come from? Right? Summer play by a truck. And it was something when she said it that it just was like, it hit me like, why would she say that? Why? Everything you're talking about, she's just crying and all snotty and shit. And she says, I wish I hadn't let Summer play by that truck. So, no, she didn't say red truck. This is what I was thinking. When you go to their property, and this is weird, because there's this truck that sits right next on the front side of the hill is real steep. Like if you fell off of it, it would F you up, if not kill you, right? It's steep. Like, so when you go up the hill to their house, you know how they said the dog trail is right there? Y'all seen in the video, I ran up the dog trail. Okay, all the way to the banner. You can get up and down where the dog trail's at. On the other side, it's a straight fucking drop. Like, it's a drop. Like, you would fall, like, as a grown person, you fell, you'd probably die. I ain't gonna lie, you probably would. You would hit trees and all kinds of stuff. It wouldn't be pretty. I know that. If you did make it, you'd be effed up. So when naturally, like when I meet Don and Candace, I'm out there with them, and Don walks me over to this truck. We're just talking, but kind of walking together, just talking. And we walk right up to this truck that's parked in the yard, and right to the right of the truck is just this sheer fucking drop off. Like, I'm looking down at like, hope Don don't push me, right? Because I'm already sketched about him, right? And just for anybody to let you know, we were armed. You know what I'm saying? We didn't go up there not carrying that with us. We made sure we don't know these people, There's a lot of people allege a lot of things about the Wells. So, we stayed a little strapped up is the word for it. But I'm getting close to this edge of this thing, and I'm looking down it, and I'm like, damn, you fall down this, you die. Like, this is not safe for kids. Like, y'all need to put a fence up or something right here. And it's right between where the house is and that barn is. The barn that everybody talks about down at the bottom of the hill, right? There's a little path that goes down there. You couldn't fall. If you fell there, you would just be on a hill. If you fell to the right of that, it's almost like a drop off, like at least 15, 20 feet. I mean, a good little, you might not die, a adult, but you could possibly, a kid could fall off of it and die. And that was the first thing that went through my mind. But listen, this phone call hadn't happened yet. This was just when I first met him, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, and we just keep walking. We go through the sheds, and Don's up there, just telling me that Summer's in heaven, and that, the social services came up there about them being on the roof of the house, that Summer was climbing on the roof of the house. So, fast forward that 3-4 months later, and Candace is on the phone crying, and she says, I wish I hadn't let Summer buy that truck. Now, was she talking about that truck? In my mind, it instantly went to that. Okay. because I was thinking, I wonder if she's talking about letting her play by that truck and Summers done fell and got hurt and they done covered it up. Right. That was my first thought in that whole scenario. But just like Mab said, was it maybe by that red truck? She let her play by this truck and Summer got hit by a truck. A lot of people are alleging that Summer got hit by this truck. And that would have been the Randy Hill guy, which is kin to the Paul Hill, which is kin to Fred Hill, which is kin to Andy Barnett. And now you got all these families involved and all these people are connected. And listen, most people are not going to tell on their family, right? They're not. So I don't know. I don't know how. I just know this, and I'm sure it is. Somebody didn't run up that dog trail and kidnap Summer Wells. Because why would they have done that when they could have walked up the driveway? The dog trail sits here. The driveway sits here. They're on the same road. Why would you cut through all them woods and battle up the hill when you could just walk right up the driveway? You wouldn't. They can't see you come up the driveway. They can't see you come up the dog trail. So what's the difference? So when I was looking at this dog trail, I never bought that somebody came up there or knew where the dog trail was. All right. This ain't like it was so covered in the summertime you couldn't see a trail. I was just going through the woods because I seen a corner of a banner in the woods. If anybody goes back and watches my old videos, I'm walking down Ben Hill Road and I see something in the woods. And I'm like, shit, I didn't even know I was trespassing. Now I knew I was trespassing, right? But it was like, I'm going to see what it is. So you couldn't even see the banner. The trees had overgrown the banner where the dog trail is because the banner sat right next to the dog trail. So I run up to it and it's on my videos. I can pull it up and show it to you. That you could get up there, right? But nobody would have knew. Like I didn't know. Like, and listen, that's what I'm saying. A stranger wouldn't have knew. But somebody that knew them would have known. Okay. PG ended the show after saying she didn't think. What did that say? You think her party in summer got ran over and they panicked? PG ended the show after saying she didn't think that had happened and pulled it. Was the tree people on the property when she went missing the same as Ziggy's people? No. Okay. The tree service was like Davies tree service or something that was out there when Summer went missing. The tree service that is Hills Trees Removal or tree service, right? Is the Hills. But some people are alleging that Randy Hill was working for that tree service at the time. Cause you know how you're in the tree business. You might have gotten a fight with your family. Now you're working with somebody else. And he drove that red Tacoma truck, right? So now you got a tree service, you got the truck, you got this family owning a tree service, and there's the truck. And people had reported seeing a red Tacoma at Fred Hill's house, right? Well, why would there be a red Tacoma there? Because Randy Hill was the one driving that red Tacoma truck. Now, this is all allegedly, this is all rumors that are being spread around the internet. But to me, it's the spider web effect that all these people are connected, every last single one of them, all the way to Jody Sue Brown, right? Like Jody Sue Brown's so out of it. Does she even know who she is? Okay. She's like, that woman talks slower than anybody I've ever heard in my life next to Monkey Boy, the YouTuber. Okay. Them are the two slowest talking ass people. If you can listen to that, you are a better human being than me. I don't know how any fucking body on the whole planet can talk that damn slow. I mean, that hillbilly shit is slow. It is. I think that's a whole lot of hillbilly and a whole lot of narcotics. Okay. She on the good stuff, right? I don't know what she on. She's so out of it, she don't even know, right? 4 minutes later, you're waiting for her to finish a sentence, right? 4 minutes later. And Monkey Boy, he's like a man version of her, right? So I don't see how people do it, right? I can't do it. I've tried to listen to Joey Sue Brown and the West Virginia makeup artist, and I just can't do it. One, the dude looks like a corpse, right? And like I just looking for a coffin to put his dead looking ass in, right? I heard he was a makeup artist for the deceased at one point. Like check his pulse. That dude alive? All right. I've never seen that much makeup on. He look like Tammy Faye Baker. Okay. I mean, it's just caked on his face and talk slow as shit. Josie Sue Brown, I can't even tolerate that. It is literally that bad. I mean, it's just horrible bad. Like, holy shit bad. So even if she held the biggest clue in the world, right? Let's just say she knew everything. I ain't got that much time to listen to it. Okay. Dolly, can we Google view the Wells property? Yes, in just 1 second. We'll go over the Wells property and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about in just 1 second. Let's get a little view of this place here. And from the road view, you can't really see all the buildings, right? You just see this one little place here, but you see the aerial view of it. There's multiple buildings. There's multiple outbuildings. You can see a little bit here when we zoom in on it, but it's really hard to really see it from the street unless you do the aerial view, which we just did, right? It looks totally different on the ground than it looked from the air. Jody Sue's son got out the picture quickly when he was driving that truck and hit Summer. Now, a lot of people believe that too, that he was a creeper, right? That he was a peeper and that he had been, running around the neighborhood being a peeping Tom. And then, of course, he joined the military, got up out of Ben Hill Road. All right. Dolly, did you hear someone tried to run? Well, they did over killer looks. He's okay now. I need a translator for whatever the hell you just said. Can somebody translate like that for me? I speak a lot of languages. I speak redneck. I speak a little hillbilly, a little surfer, a little skater. But whatever you said, I don't speak that. Okay, I don't speak that. That's that shit. That's a language I don't know. I speak Cantonese. A little Spanish. But whatever the hell you said, that's from another planet. I don't know. I don't speak 40 ounce. Okay. That's shit right there. That's some sublime 40 ounce to freedom type shit right there. They said somebody tried to run over killer looks. Dolly, LOL, sorry. Killy looks got ran down. I don't know. We speak different languages apparently. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Okay. So anyway, this is the area of interest. Of course, we're just gonna take a little look at it. This is the perpetrator's truck. I'm kidding. Would it have been crazy if it had been a red Tacoma, right? But just this area is pretty remote. There's a little logging trail here where they keep their wood, where they chop down trees. Now, of course, there's some outbuildings. There's a couple little ponds and lakes out here. And listen, if you wanted to get rid of something, let's be honest. This is the type of area you want to be in where there's no neighbors for miles. Look at this. There's pull-offs that take you deep back into the woods. There's a house here, but you can't even see it. All right. So there's really not much around. And if you wanted to hide somebody, you could really, hide somebody and not be seen. Because if you're gonna take a kid, right? Here's the thing. Say they took the kid from Ben Hill Road, and I'm gonna show you guys on a map in just a second. if you would took the kid from Ben Hill Road, you got two options. When you come out, you hit Beach Creek. You can go right, which is going to lead you to the city. Okay. What is it? Johnson, Tennessee, Hawkins County, to the right. You go towards the left, it's going to take you down towards Greensville. So, and it's wooded. So I would think if you're going to try to hide somebody, or you don't want to get on the major roads, you're not going to go right on Beach Creek. You're going to go left on Beach Creek. And that's going to take you down towards Van Hill Road. All right. Now, like I said, you can see that there's hills, there's ponds here. We've seen that in the overview. But then your nearest neighbor is way down here. There's a couple houses, right? So very, very, well, trailers. I would call them houses. That's a trailer. This looks like a house, though. That's a house. So you got a trailer. It's very isolated, okay? Very, very isolated, remote area. And this sits, like I said, 9 miles from the wells, and all of these people are familiar with it. There's a pole out here, one of these street poles like this. I seen it on the news. It had Summer Wells flyers all over the poster. Okay, now we will pull up Ben Hill Road. Give me 1 second. Let me back this up so I can get to where you put in the address. All right. Now, of course, they don't have a street view of Ben Hill Road. All right. Let's just take a little look. This is Beach Creek. They don't give you nothing, do they? They don't give you a road view? Let's see. I guess not. I mean, I can Google Earth it. Yeah, it don't give you nothing. It gives you, it's right off Beach Creek. But that's it. And see, you would go this way to get to Van Hill. See it? Right there. We have that pin. So look, straight shot takes you all the way to there. So it's a straight path. And look, so if you go out this way, see, if you go out this way on the Beach Creek, it takes you into the city. See all that white stuff? That's Kingsport. You're not going to go that way. That's why I'm saying I always felt like use satellite view. How do I get to satellite view? All right, let me try this. Let's try Google Earth. All right, Google Earth. Give me 1 second. New project, new map. Let's go search. Okay, now we got a way better view. All right, let me share this with you guys. All right, so here we go. Here's the compound. Okay. Now, this is what I was explaining to you guys earlier. Okay, see the house, right? There's the house. When you walk out this way, all right, look, this is the dog path that leads down here. All right. I wonder why you can't see the road. You can right there. There's the road. So this is Ben Hill Road right here. Let me bring it up some right here. So say you're driving down Beach Creek, all right. You take a left right here into right here where you see where it says Beach Creek. That is actually Ben Hill Road right there that takes you back up into the cut. That's where Don and Candace lived. Jody Sue lived over here. Frank Hill lived over here. Remember when I said you could see Frank Hill's house from Ben Hill Road when it was wintertime? Right? And Jody Sue is right over here. All right. Can y'all see my cursor? I can't make it bigger, but and I don't got a laser pointer to show y'all. But I want to go back to this because for people to come up the dog trail, you would have had to take this left and then go into the woods right here, go through the woods, and this brings you right up on the side of their house. Okay. This would be the dog trail where y'all see my cursor. All right. That's what they call the dog trail. And if you watch my earlier videos on Summer Wells, but I had just started my channel, so not that many people watched me then. It ain't like now. There's that way more people watch me now than did back then. I walk up this trail. Matter of fact, I will pull those videos up after we take calls and show you guys firsthand. But okay, while I was there, I want to make this okay. So over here, there was a truck parked. Okay. And there's the school bus. See the school bus? That's the one that Grandis had. All right. Their driveway actually sits right over here. And you come up this way and you come into their yard. But like I said, over here to the right, when you get by these trees, there's a drop off right here that drops down like 15, 20 feet. It's steep, like super steep. And then if you go over here, you can go down this little trail and it takes you to the little shed where I hung the banner right here. See the little shed? I hung the banner. First, I hung the banner on these trees right here. And then I went back like 2 years later and I called Don and said, hey, man, I want your help moving the banner. And that's when I went up to the house. That's how I got him to talk to me. Is I was like, look, man, you know, the banner's getting overgrown. I want to put it somewhere you would see it. Will you help me do it? The swing is right here. Okay, hold on. Let's go back over here. The swing is right on this tree right here. See the tree? That's where the swing is. You can almost see the swing. It's right here. All right. So when we walked out, we were walking out over here, and there's the little shed built. You can't see it on the aerial. You can see this one a little bit. You can see the sheds over here. But there's sheds out there too. You just can't really see them from the Google Earth. But like I said, there were some vehicles parked here, a truck and something else. I can't remember what it was. I remember the truck though for sure. And of course, that's the swing. And I believe, you know, if Summer went down to this house, she went down through this trail right here. And remember when we seen the boys and they were searching, Josie and other boys, they were down here searching off of Beach Creek. They weren't searching off of Ben Hill. This is Ben Hill. This is where Jody seen Candace. Remember she said she pulled up to her in the car and Don Wells was on the phone? Jody Sue was on this road. But when Don Wells came home, he pulled up right here because the boys were down there. How did he know the boys were down there at the shed? I've always found that kind of strange. The house is 9 miles from there. Okay. It's 9 miles down Beach Creek. Not far at all, guys. Not far. We just showed it on the maps. And like I said, right over here, we got Fred Hill. Is it Limestone Branch? I think it is. You just can't see the road. I didn't know you could do that. All right. So when you go down Ben Hill, it dead ends back here. And then there's a trail that goes back through here. And apparently they built a house over here. I never knew this lake was here. Y'all see that? I never knew this lake was here. How did I miss that? I've been all back here too. And I didn't know that lake was there. But yeah, that's the Wells' his house. And the $1 million question goes to where's Summer Wells? You know, where's this child at? And you know, like I said, a stranger didn't come up onto this property and kidnap this child. Let me open up the phone lines real quick because you guys may be hearing something that we didn't go over tonight. And I want to hear what y'all have been hearing, the rumors out here on the internet streets. Okay, let me open the phone lines and let me put the call in number on the screen. Banners, boop, 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 boop. Okay, the call-in number is up now. Phone lines are open. Call-in number 757-797-6694. What have you guys been hearing in the Summerwell case? Didn't Hunter overhear Don telling Candace that there was some man looking at the kids? Listen, I don't believe nothing Hunter says. That little boy is a scumbag. Okay, he is such a hood wannabe gangster little rat dude that I don't buy anything he said. Okay, Hunter is the biggest liar ever. He used his dying mama to basically grift money, and then you know we helped him out feeling bad for Hunter when Allie was dying, and he turned around and he bought a gun with the money we donated to him. Right now, if he hurt somebody with that gun, you know how long I'm gonna feel guilty. Right? Who would give this dude a firearm? He's a little wannabe gangster. It's horrible. All right. Did I open the phone lines? Yeah, let me refresh them. You guys are quiet tonight. Call the numbers on the screen 757-797-6694. And things were going on in the house. I believe that, you know, like I said, I believe that a lot of these people in the holler were selling drugs to make extra. Dolly.
Yeah, I always kind of thought that Summer might have climbed up a ladder, got on the roof, and tried to shoot the guns like the boys were,
She
and
did
had
get
an
on.
accident coming down.
She did get on the roof. Don Wells told me personally that she was climbing up on the roof. But you got to tell everybody who you are and where you're calling from.
Oh, I'm Velvet from Kansas.
Hey, Velvet. Yeah, Don Wells,
Hey.
when I was out there, said that that's the reason somebody called the social services on them is because they thought the kids were out there shooting real guns and Summer was climbing on the roof of the house. But when you're up there, the roof of the house is pretty low. It ain't high at all.
Right.
So, I mean, even if you was to fall off of it, could you get hurt? Yes. Is it enough to kill you? Probably not. When I was a kid, I used to jump off stuff higher than that all the time. So,
Well, if she fell off the back of that house, it would kill her.
yes, it absolutely could happen. And but I don't know if that happened. I've never, you know,
I don't know either.
yeah, Don said that, you know, Summer was climbing on the house and they thought the guns were real because he was putting diesel lighter fluid in, like diesel gasoline into the pellets, and they're shooting it. And when the BB guns go off, they're loud. They're a lot louder than they usually would be because
Right.
I had never done that until I was out there shooting them BB guns with Don Wells. So he showed me what they were doing. And
Right.
and them BB guns, believe it or not, are powerful. I'm talking about go through a car door powerful. Because I was out there shooting the bus. I was shooting all the way down to Jody Sue's mailbox from the hill. So them things are pretty powerful, what they were shooting. And that's what he alleges got the social services out there to begin with. And he told me that one of the neighbors called social services. And you got to remember, there's only 3 neighbors in his area, and that's Fred Hill, the lady at the junkyard, and Jody Sue Brown and Andy.
Right.
So between them, one of them people are the ones that called the social services and had them out there. So, I mean, I don't know what that was about. Usually people are friendly with their neighbors or, but these neighbors were calling in, and I'm thinking it was Fred Hill. That's who I think did it.
I always kind of thought it was an accident that they covered up.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought something like similar to that too, that they may have covered something up. But I'm talking about far as calling the social services, I believe it was Fred Hill that reported them.
Well, that may be so. My thought is that she went on up there again after social services had been there.
It's possible.
You know,
It is
while
possible.
the boys were busy playing their game on that TV, that she snuck
Yeah.
out there and went up there on her own.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
fell.
Summer did, they made it very clear that she liked to climb on everything. Like a little spider monkey, because even when she would go to work with Don, they said she would climb right on the scaffolding, climb way up on it, be jumping from one thing to the next thing. And I mean, that's how kids are. Kids are they can climb. I used to climb all kind of stuff as a kid, never fell, but maybe that was luck. I can't climb nothing now, but when I was a kid, I'd be climbing 80 foot up in a tree. Now I can't climb one branch up.
Well, I wasn't much of a climber, but that was kind of what I thought of, and that they couldn't afford to have an autopsy on her because they would find something wrong with her.
Yeah,
be it drugs in her system or being molested or whatever it was, that they had to cover up the death because there was something that would be found in the autopsy that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying you're wrong. We don't know, so anything's possible, So a lot of people do believe that Summer was being, SA'd, but we don't have no factual proof for that.
No, we don't.
So
it's anybody's guess, really.
Because you would think, why would you cover up the death if your kid accidentally died? Why would you cover it up? Definitely because you would have to have something that you're trying to hide. That they were going to blame it on you, or you felt like you was going to go to jail, or possible SA, and they're going to find that out.
Well, see, and even if all that wasn't so, with Department of Human Services having been there the day before, that would have gotten them both into trouble anyway if she had fallen off that roof.
Yeah, explain that to social services the next day. Your kid done tragically fell to its death. That's a little scary situation. Hey, I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, peace. Dolly.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Dolly. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Let me turn down you. Hey, it's Valerie.
Hey, Valerie.
I'm from Seattle.
Okay. You're a long ways from Ben Hill Road.
That's for sure.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a lot of crazy things have been going on there.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of news and a whole lot of rumors.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought I got disconnected, but I didn't.
Nah. Is there something you want to say about the case?
I just think that, this has gone on for so long, and poor little Summer, and I wish Don and Candace would just say it.
Yeah. What do you want them to say? That they did it, or something tragically happened?
I think maybe something happened. I think like maybe that day she was in that, in the water and all that. I think that's when that happened. I think they left her in the car.
How are the Hills involved in this? How is the Hill family? How is the Hill family involved in this?
Gosh, I have no idea about that.
Yeah, because that's the important thing right now. The FBI is going after the Hills, and they wouldn't be doing that for nothing. So what involvement, if Don and Candace did this on their own, how would the Hills be involved? And I don't mean like the Hills, the actual Hills. I'm talking about the family, the Hills.
Right, I get it. But anyway, yeah, I don't know how they would be involved unless, it's just like a big conspiracy or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I appreciate you calling.
Thanks, Dolly. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But what if Don and Candace are innocent and that somebody else has done something? You know, because they said they didn't bring her back. Like they knew who took her. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Yes.
Why do you think Andy Bernard has hooked up with Ryan? You think he's doing that to kind of throw us off the fence?
Maybe, but I met both of them, and I think Ryan's a nice guy, and Andy, believe it or not, came off as a nice guy.
Is that right? Well, I just wondered. It's kind of fishy to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get off and let someone else talk to you.
Okay.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby. All right, peace. That is a weird one. Listen, because like I said, I met them. Both of them seem like pleasant dudes. Andy seemed so nice. I can't believe he was married to Jody Sue Brown, right? And at the time I was talking to him, I didn't even know he was the Andy that was married to Jody Sue. And when I got back in the car, PJ was sitting there and she said, you know, that's Andy that was married to Jody Sue. I said, no, I didn't know that. Because I would have asked him, like, what the hell was you smoking when you married that woman? Right? But he came off as a nice guy. They were out, you know, they were recommending locations to go search and how you get around from certain points to certain points. Because, you know, they know the area better than I do. Dolly.
Dolly, how you doing? Wild Bill from Illinois.
What's up, Wild Bill?
Yeah, hoping that the Summer Wells case and the Sebastian case, that they get them tied up and finished up and everything done.
Yeah, we ain't had nothing breaking in Sebastian in a good while, but this is good to see something's moving in the Summer Wells case and it's not stagnant.
Yeah. You remember in the Dr. Phil interviews when Don was talking,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden he came up and he said, well, I seen they wanted to go to Warrior Pass and go swimming that day, and I seen the video of that, and I took her back. And then he said something after that, but they asked him, who'd you take back, Don? Summer thought you wasn't there. And all of a sudden, his face is beet red. Like he said something he didn't want to, and he knew he didn't. And he went back in a circle.
Well, they said that Don took a lie detector tests and that he passed, and the behavioral expert people say that Don wasn't responsible. And
I don't think that.
I mean, I don't 100% believe it either, but I'm just saying what they said.
Any grown man that would take a bath with a 5-year-old, or was said that it took a bath with a 5-year-old, and has been around places where children are sold,
yeah,
and things like that. Come on, he's just like a Chris Proudfoot.
No, I think Don is. I'm not even going to put that on Chris. He's worse than Chris Proudfoot.
I think Chris Proudfoot's both ways.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't. Don Wells. There's not that many allegations against Chris as there is against Don, as far as breaking in houses, being peepers, and stealing panties, messing with his sister, and I mean, there's a lot that you go down to Don Wells rabbit hole. That bitch is deep.
I think Chris is just as deep as he is. Mommy's paid it off and kept it quiet.
Maybe they've kept it a little bit more quieter, but you fall in Don Wells rabbit hole, you don't never hit the bottom.
That's why he's so mean to women, and he thinks she has to have control all the time. Like Chris McDonough says, he starts fires, then stands back, rages about it, and say, "Why'd you make me do that? What happened?"
Yeah. A lot of people that do have short tempers, and then when they get mad and then they come down, they blame it on somebody else. Well, if you hadn't have did this, I wouldn't have did this. Well,
yeah, just excuse and escape. Wait for him to try and make himself look better.
I agree that he's an angry person, that he's short-tempered. I absolutely agree with that. Now, as far as how bad of a human being he is, I mean, he does have some bad things I don't like about him, because I don't think you should put your hands on somebody else's kids. I've never been able to get past that. But far as anything else, I don't really know what Chris. I think believe it or not, to be dead honest, I think at some point Chris took good care of Sebastian, and then something changed. I don't know what that change was. Maybe Sebastian getting older, and you know, as you get older, you get a little more rebellious and start to back talk and get a little braver. Maybe it was at that point that everything went bad. But if you look back at the early videos, he taught Sebastian how to ride a bike. You would think that would be his daddy or his mama that did that, but that was Proudfoot. He was teaching them how to drive the backhoe, and you know, and they looked happy. I mean, so it's really hard to say, but I damn sure know Don Wells is worse than Chris Proudfoot.
Well, they might have been hitting the same kind of pipe.
I don't know. I see two different types of people. I see two different types of people. One, Chris works in heavy machinery. He's going to be drug tested all the time.
It doesn't stop a lot of them.
I know, because those type of things get out of your system really fast. It's like 3 days or something like that, and it's out your system. I mean, I don't know.
His stepdad was caught with anhydrous ammonia and different things that you make meth with. So, I mean, come on now. I
mean, I don't know. I haven't got that far into his family and things like that. So, I don't know. I say they both bad, but we're getting way off topic because we done switched cases completely.
I think Candace and Hunter were doing the humpity bumpity, and
sure,
you know, something happened. They weren't keeping an eye on Summer, and where she was at swimming, she might have went under the water because she couldn't swim that good, and she was under for a while, and they thought they saved her and everything was okay. You know, you never know. But the thing is, it wasn't handled the right way.
Yeah,
they didn't.
You know, even in the intro of my video, it shows me in the water at Warrior's Path. When you get out a little ways, there's a steep drop off. So
you can see it from the if a person drones over top of it. I've watched a video on them droning over top of it. You can see the different holes when they droned over the top. Oh my
God! And there's so much fishing string and hooks in there. Like literally, exactly. I took a machete in the water with me, like a big knife, because when I got out there, I got wrapped up in fishing line, and I was literally cutting it off of me as I was in the water. As I was coming up out the water, I'm cutting fishing line off of me that's wrapped around me, and you get about, I would say about 10 feet out, and it's shallow. It's like a little above your waist. Then you'll take a step, and it'll go from 4 foot or 3 foot to about 10 foot in a matter of one step. So it's a sheer drop off for sure. Yeah, in that water, like I said, there's fishing line and hooks, and that ain't the best place to be swimming.
Exactly.
You'd be better off going out to outside that cove and going out to where the point is and jumping off the point into the river instead of into that cove, because that cove is where people like to sit around and fish. So, and there's a lot of trees, and there's a lot of stuff that you could get hurt on out there. I don't know why she would have her kids in that damn water anyway, but you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And it's sad. I mean, it is truly, truly sad.
All right there, Wild Bill. You be good.
Happy Thanksgiving, and everybody out there, happy Thanksgiving too.
Same to you, brother.
We all have problems. We all make mistakes, but our children are precious. Let's keep them safe. Let's bring them.
That's for sure. Amen to that. I'll talk to you next time.
Hey, you be good, brother.
All right.
Bye, PJ.
All right. Peace. So,
peace.
Yeah, like that water, not the safest place. Dolly.
Hi.
Hey.
I've been trying for 2 years.
All right, you need to turn me down in the background and speak up a little bit. I can barely hear you.
Okay, this is from North Carolina.
Okay, I didn't get none of that. Did you say Pat?
Kathy from North Carolina.
Okay, Kathy from North Carolina. How's it going, Kathy?
It's going pretty good. I've been trying to call you with what I've channel surfed from all the YouTubers and everything for the last couple of days.
Okay.
Of course, you Okay, this is Summer Wells related, and of course, like anything, you all with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And yeah, but what they were talking about, and I've been following Summer Wells since they put up the first Amber Alert. I watched your first show,
Uh-huh.
and I've never called into YouTube, but this was interesting. Okay, I watch all of it and try to figure out for myself who's got the best receipts and who's got the best probable scenarios for different things when it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch everybody's. I've even really, really seriously tried to watch Jody Sue, but that's real hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I agree with you on that. I've even tried it.
Man, I've seen her do 5 hours before, and anybody else could have done it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And uncoded too, all our stuff's coded. But I've tried watching all of them. So it's a habit of mine because I have gotten really invested in this Summer Wells thing from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now my last night's when all this, well, not last night, last couple of days when all this started coming up about this last thing, I hit my same research groove that I always hit, started watching everybody to see what's being said.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I know I'm not going to mention another YouTuber's name on your channel, but this particular YouTuber, you spoke about him twice, at least once today, and it was during one of your, when you made a trip up there, and he was with Andy Bernard.
Oh, okay. You can say him. I don't have no problem. Ryan.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Ryan has made a lot of friends in and out the community.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that he started so that he could get access to land and things up there. All right, the hills comes from a long line of generations and generations back of big landowners. That's why there's so many hills in there. A lot of this stuff was put under conservatorships and different things like that. So some of that land, and over the years as people died out, some of the lands that they've gotten that don't belong to them anymore was sold out after people died out. If things get divided every time somebody dies. All right, this particular land that just got searched, this Frank Hills.
Yeah.
The one, all right, this is what they're saying. If any of this is true, it's all, not all of it, but a bunch of it could be checked by somebody with a computer, and PJ'd be perfect. But supposedly, there's several people that lives on that property. That Frank dude's supposed to be like 80 years old. He's supposed to be like a preacher, well respected in the community, and has several businesses.
That's what I'm hearing.
One being a Christmas tree farm on that property. Nobody knows how big his piece of property is. Nobody's done the research. Or if they have, they hadn't shown receipts for it.
Oh, we pulled up the property on Joseph Paul Hall Hill. We pulled it all up earlier. Me and PJ was looking at it before I went live of who owned the property, who lived at the property, trying to figure out who was related to who. And so, yeah, we pulled that up. But I didn't look at the actual acreage of the property, but I will go back and look to see how much of that he owns.
That may help in deciphering whether any of this is true or not. Because supposedly the old dude lives there. He's got a business that does the tree trimming. I heard you say you knew that. He also, there's the triangle-shaped pond back there is part of a fishery.
Yeah, I heard something like that too.
Yeah, it's a business. There's also a garage back there where they junk and rework on vehicles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Supposedly his son lives on that property somewhere on a piece of his land that is up there near his property. I don't know if it's back in the garage, wherever.
Does he have two sons? He has two sons, man.
Yes, but I don't know which son it is. I think it's one they call Paul. It's supposed to live there. Paul has a son who is 20 years old, who got busted recently by the FBI through one of those networks where you have C-SPAN about children. He got busted for sending pictures over the internet of minors in this kind of a situation. So when they busted him,
Do we?
supposedly it goes,
Is there a
huh?
paper?
Now,
Is there a paper trail to that we could find?
well, I can't remember the lady's name on another YouTube channel. Put it up. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was busted 3 days before they raided his house, and he was busted by Hawkins County.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, the Reed dude, but I don't think he's related to the Summer Wells case. But yeah, he could possibly have something to do with these people that are at this home.
Well, supposedly
Austin,
he's related.
that's the Austin guy. Austin, I
Yeah.
believe his name's Austin. I don't want to dox his name out on the internet. Did we just say Austin R?
Yeah, well, supposedly a minor relative or a relative that's like 20 or 20 years old sent out pictures and received pictures, and so they go down there and they raid the dude's house and they take the computer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly Summers in some sort of something on that computer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is, I mean, I heard stuff like that dude that got busted is unrelated to the Summer Wells case, but some people say he had a picture of Summer Wells like in his background or something like that. Now, I don't know if that's rumored. I ain't been able to like verify that, but I don't know how he would be connected to the Hills. Maybe he does know something on the Hills and he's talking, or they found something that connects him to these people. I mean, I don't know, but they made it clear that this search has to do with Summer Wells.
Yes, absolutely, they did. And then supposedly Don in the last year has wrecked his truck. This is all alleged. I don't know none of this. There was stuff put up, and some of it I noticed was fake. Like there's another Paul Hill that lives in Kentucky now.
Yes,
somebody
I
put
seen
up
that. That was Michelle After Dark came up and was talking about him, and that he originally he had lived in Tennessee at one point, but I don't think at the point that the Summer Wells case, and he's registered in Kentucky now.
Right.
I've seen that.
Okay, so
I keep up with some stuff for idiot. I've been following this case for a long time too.
Well, the one I seen was before Michelle's. I can't remember the names, the lady's name off the top of my. I will watch all of them. If they say Summer Wells, I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, supposedly there was a red Toyota pickup truck that belongs to somebody on that property. The truck was there on that property.
I'm hearing that the truck. Now I'm hearing. I don't know how true this is. Belongs to Randy Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking that is the other son. I'm getting the names mixed up because I watched so many different ones.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to weed out what possibly maybe could be the truth and how many different people are reporting on it and what are their sources and who's got proof kind of deal.
Yeah. That's why I named it news, rumors, and gossip, because a lot of it's rumors, a lot of it's gossip, but there is a little bit of news in it.
Yes. We do know that they were there, and we know that for sure. Okay. But this is just some of the YouTube rumors that I don't think you've heard all of them. It sounds like you've heard more than what I've heard. Don't settle for boring.
Design memorable
Some of them is that in the last year that Don Wells had wrecked his truck on that road, on Van Hill Road, and that Frank Hill was the one that gave him a ride home.
Huh. I ain't hear that. That's a new one. But I did hear that he got his DUI on that road right there also.
Yeah, but that's been a while back. This was told, and I think it was Ryan that said that it was wrecked. Ryan had neighbors calling in because he made connections with people down there, riding around trying to get permission to search properties and stuff like that. That's why he was hanging out with with Bernard.
Yeah,
and so that's what he was doing. But anyway, so he made the connections, and this guy was supposed to be straight up and good. I don't think it's him that brought him to the property. I think it's somebody else that's on his property, probably living back out that junkyard. And we all know they all got connections to the junkyard or junkyards. And They say there was so damn much of it. Oh, supposedly now this is checkable. This is something you could research and check. Supposedly when Candace kicked Don out and took that domestic violence papers out on him and then dropped it.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. They put up and posted last night on that same lady's channel that put up the crap one that I don't think is true. The one from the guy that's in Tennessee now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the same one, the same channel that did that. I put up another paper and showed, could have been faked, that was the address that Candace gave the cops to serve the papers on Don.
And
now, I don't know if it's true.
I don't believe in coincidences, but I had to see that for myself to research it.
Yeah,
because I've been hearing a lot.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know how true any of that is, but she did post something. She had it on the screen and made it appear as if though that this was the real deal. That was the address listed for Don's address, because remember she had run him off there at one time for about 5 minutes.
Now I'm hearing she's not with Don now, that she's with some other dude that was her friend's husband that passed away.
That's Dee Dee. Dee Dee passed away. She left there to move. When she left Don, she moved into Dee Dee's house, and Dee Dee died, and she told Don she wasn't coming back. Well, she played him for a while saying she was coming back, and then told him that she was going to stay with that guy, and like they were together for a minute.
So is she back now with Don?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, last I had heard she was with some other dude and his wife had died, and I was thinking, that's But then when the news went to interview him, they said that the family refused to answer any questions because they were waiting for more information from the TBI.
They probably scared to death.
I
Trying
don't
to figure out who knows what, and we have no clue for real.
Somebody knows something, though. I believe somebody knows something that's legitimate, or they wouldn't go through all these problems.
Oh, absolutely, they know something, but we don't know what they know, and we don't know what they've really been into. It's always been highly speculated and very reasonable that drugs and stuff is involved and all that. Because of the background and the things they get on the site, we kind of assume that part's real, but we don't really know how high up the ladder they went with these. We know they're sketchy enough to be on the ladder, but we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. It's we know what comes when people involve themselves in this type of lifestyle, and anything could happen, and we're in a situation where anything has happened.
Yeah, and they'd never be getting this kind of thing if it wasn't for a child. Nobody would ever know about them. Their life would go on, and it would just be what it was going to be anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of us that got seriously invested in this child's disappearance, and I'd give anything if they'd find her.
Thank God, because if people don't keep it in the spotlight, maybe they won't. So, hey, look, I appreciate you calling. It was great talking to you.
It was good talking to you, Dolly. I hope you weed this out and figure it out for us and do some checking.
We're gonna dig into it. That's for sure. The more that comes out, the more I have to research, the more information we can get. So thanks for calling.
Well, you've always been what I'd consider the center point, because I believe what you say. I know you don't have a dog in the fight except find the kid.
Yeah, find the kid. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and these other people are iffy at best.
All right, peace. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Patricia Rayfield from North Carolina. You were saying something about the BB guns that they was using on top of the house.
Yes.
Are those the long ones like they used to have a long time ago, or
they're
are they?
They're like the pump where you pump them together. And Scott, I used to love Art Bell, man. Art Bell was like my go-to. Yeah, they're like the bigger BB guns that you pump. You can pump them as many times as you want. The more you pump them, the stronger it gets.
Well, now they got the handheld, the smaller ones, like the pistols.
Oh no, these are big BB guns. These are rifles.
Well, do you think maybe she got up there and maybe shot herself?
I don't know. I ain't never thought about that. I technically you could probably kill yourself with a pellet gun that powerful, but I don't think so. I think it's a little hard to shoot yourself with a rifle. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what
It depends how she's
I
doing it,
mean,
how she's pumping it.
they got pellet guns like a pistol now, and
Yeah,
I
but
was wondering.
they didn't have those. The matter of fact, the pellet guns they had were hard to pump, and I think they would pump them up for Summer and let her shoot them. I don't think Summer did the pumping on the pellet guns because even the ones I was out there using, you had to put some ass into them to pump them up. I mean, you could pump it once or twice and shoot it, but it wouldn't go that far. You got to put good, like 10 good pumps in it, and then you can hit Jody Sue's mailbox from you can shoot that thing like 200 yards.
Yeah, we used to have them too.
Yeah,
but that lake behind that house where they done the search at, that's where they're saying that Candace liked to go fishing at. That's her fishing hole.
Yeah, well, if they breed fish there, it would make sense because it'd be easy to catch them if the whole lake is stocked with them.
Yeah, that I heard on PG they was talking about it, and they said that they was going to search the lake. I was wondering if that was where all the dirt and stuff was coming from.
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking if you searching that property, you might as well search the lake. What is it going to hurt?
Yeah.
But a lake like that, all they have to do is dredge it. They'll put a thing in there like a big, huge rake that they pull behind a little boat, and they'll pull up whatever's on the bottom of the water. So, or they can send, because if you send divers in, we're talking 4 years, you're not going to find a body intact, but you may find bones. You know, that's what people got to understand. If you've been in that water that long, you ain't going to be in a whole body anymore. You're going to be.
Well, even if they drug it, would they find the bones?
Yeah. Yeah, bones bones last a long time. I mean, we still finding Egyptian bones from thousands of years ago. So yeah, your bones will be there. I mean, they'd be small bones because she was a small child, but they would be there.
Well, wouldn't the bones go through the net or whatever it is using to drag it with?
Well, I'm sure that there's different levels of what they dredge up. You know what I'm saying? They dig it up, sift through it, screen it. And then, all it takes is one bone and that's it. It could be the tiniest bone. And once they run DNA on it and it matches to Summer Wells, they're going to know she was in that pond.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need all your bones. They just need one bone. Right. I mean, even Quentin Simon, this is sad, right? When they searched the landfill for Quentin Simon, the bones they found of him was just very little. They found part of his skull. They found a little bit of his spine, but they didn't have his whole body. That's why they have a memorial at the landfill right now, because the rest of Quentin Simon's buried at that landfill. They just found partial remains, and then they never went back and looked again.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Soon as they found enough to prosecute her and to prove that it was Quentin Simon, that was it. So, but they don't need much. If they find anything of her, and you're in that lake, you didn't magically just get in that lake and magically the FBI just knows, somebody's talking. There is an informant right now talking to the FBI, and they believe.
Well, do you remember that video that come out that one of the YouTubers did that was the neighbor and said that his wife had called Candace and asked them on the night that she had disappeared if there was anything they could do, and she just wanted a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. That don't even sound like Candace. I mean, if she wanted a bottle of liquor, it sounds like Candace.
Well, I mean, it could have been the kids texting her back or something, but they said that they had talked to Candace that night, and he said that they had been noticing stuff that was strange that was going on. And I think it was them that's been talking. I think maybe they might have got mad when they found out that Benny Keys had got a cut and they didn't get nothing. Or they didn't get as much as he did.
Yeah, Benny, according to him, he got $1,700 from Tim Nolan.
And they've been sitting there thinking about it, you know, well, they give Benny Key $1,700. They didn't give us but $1,200. You know, I'm gonna start
And I
letting
don't
some
know.
stuff out.
I don't know what Cam and Allie was paid. You remember Cam and Allie?
Yeah.
I believe they were paid also.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I think a bunch of them was to go along with whatever they wanted them to go along with.
The push a narrative. Yeah, you push a narrative. Yeah. And because I think everybody was blaming the Wells, and then we had all these people start taking up for the Wells and running interference for them, and they were being paid by Tim Mullins. And I mean, why would somebody pay you to push a narrative on it? It don't make sense in a missing kid case. And a lot of these people sign non-disclosure agreements. Like, why would you have that? What's so secretive? Why do you have to be? There should be no secrets in a missing kid case. None, zero.
That's right.
So when I seen people doing that, you know, instantly I went on the attack that these ain't good people. You wouldn't do that. You're involved in it. You know more than you're running interference. And a lot of people didn't like me saying that because they had fans, and their fans were like, "Oh, you just a hater. You're just jealous of these people." No, these people signed. They're sold to the fucking devil is how I look at it. And I'm not showing no mercy to you. You are the enemy. You are my enemy. Good don't like bad. You know what I'm saying? We don't mesh.
Well, you know, they was talking about Ronnie Lawson's son.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a bad dude too?
Yeah. There's a lot of creepy. I mean, you're talking about the hills of Tennessee. They don't say the hills have eyes for nothing. I mean, all these people out there might get your cheeks. You got to protect your cheeks out there. Like the Wu-Tang says, protect your neck. When you in Tennessee, you got to protect your cheeks.
I was just wondering if him and Hunter run around together.
I don't know. Hunter's a dirtbag. So if there's bad people, I'm sure Hunter was hanging with them.
Well, if them two was hanging around together, that might be the reason why Ronnie Lawson ain't spoke up and said anything about what was going on. I know he's retiring, and they got another sheriff coming on.
No, I don't even think his son got in that much trouble. I think his son got like slapped on the hand and released for the trouble he was in because, you know, his daddy's the sheriff. So, I mean, I don't know. I just know there's a lot of bad weirdos in those hills. Hey, I appreciate you calling. You be good.
Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. So yeah, I don't know if Hunter was hanging with Hunter wanted to hang out with gangbangers or wannabe gang guys. Right. But let me tell you, it's Tennessee ain't like that part of Tennessee. I ain't talking about like Knoxville and the bad places, but that part of Tennessee, that's the fake gangsters. Like they ain't real. They ain't legit. You know what I'm saying? These are wannabe gangsters. And that's kind of what Hunter hung around with is wannabe gangsters. You see how he walked with the flag and the Crip rag on the left side because that's the Crip side. That's what he thought. He been listening too much Dr. Dre and fucking Snoop Dogg, and he want to be hard and a little hood kid. And then like as he's gotten older, I mean, listen, he's a lot like his daddy, less creepy because his daddy is a creep-azoid. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pandrew's in the chat right now, right? He always seems to be listening when it comes to this Summer Wells stuff, and it's a little weird, like just his stories in general and of being involved and all these people. And I here's my thing is I don't trust any of them. Not one. Allie, rest in peace to Allie, because I don't like to say anything negative about a person without, paying them their respects, especially in death, right? Because it's just not good. She's not here to defend herself. But just truthfully, I don't believe anything she said. I'm not going to say nothing bad about the woman. I just believe that she was a liar. I believe Hunter's a liar. I believe Candace is a liar. I believe Don's a liar. I believe Fred Hill's a liar. I believe damn Jody C. Brown's. I think all these damn people are liars, and we can't believe anything that's coming out there, which makes it even harder to figure out what is actually going on. All of these people have said things that they drugging the kids. The kid got ran over. All these people have said shit that like they know it, and then they start to recant what they're saying. Like, well, did you say that for clicks and views, or did you say that for attention? Like, because these things shouldn't be happening. That's what I'm saying. When I came into the Summer Wells case, there was people already running interference, right? They were already running interference. They were putting things out that wasn't true to make you think Don and Candace are just the innocent, sweetest Christian people, and they're being picked on, right? And then you got to look at it and be like, well, nah, normal parents, normal people wouldn't act this way. But we're dealing with some more hillbilly-ish type people, so they may act a little different, So you give them a little grace, right? Right, a little bit, because they more country bumpkin-ish than some, so they may be a little, but I think they count on that. You thinking they're dumb, and really they ain't dumb. They street smart. You got to remember, Candace at one point was a carny. Now I've known plenty of carnies, and they ain't dumb. They are hustlers. They're street smart. And Candace reminds me of like a 16-year-old teenager. Her mentality. And here's the thing. Sometimes they say when you start abusing drugs at a certain age, or alcohol at a certain age, when you start to really abuse it, you get trapped. Your mind never grows outside of that. So you continue to be 16 years old in your mind forever. And when you sit there and actually deal with Candace Wells, she comes off as a teenager. She's not very adultish. And I think that's why she had so much in common with young ass Hunter, because in her mind, she thinks she's still this 16-year-old person and has that type of mentality. Like, I don't think like a 16-year-old, right? I think like an old ass man these days, but she's kind of trapped in that teenager mentality. And according to Candace, Allie knew all these things about Hunter, that he was drinking and he was smoking, that it was okay that she got it for him. And then, you hear Allie, oh, I didn't know she was doing this. And Pandrew didn't give a damn, probably the worst parent in the world. Right. So what did this boy, look who was raising this. When I see how bad he acts, I look at it like you're a product of your environment. Right. If good people would have raised Hunter, he'd probably be a good kid. But that ain't what happened. And, thank God in the situation that these boys, Josie and the other two boys that got taken away, that hopefully they went to a good home and they get a good chance in life. Because Josie, I watched his video. It's a little sad, a little heartbreaking, but he seems to be a good kid. And I think if he was given a fair chance in life around some good people to mentor him in the right directions, he would grow up to be a good person. So it's good that they got these kids out of there 4 years ago, because, he's still going to need, counseling probably the rest of his natural life, going through what type of stuff he did. And when you're a kid, you think that life's normal. You think all kids are going through the same thing until you get around other kids and, they have a structured life. They're eating dinner. People are cooking for them. They're happy. They're a family. That people ain't drunk and on drugs. But when you're around that stuff, that's all you know. You think that's normal. You don't know what normal is until you get around normal and say, well, damn, you know what? My family was effed up, right? And, this is what sucks is Don and Candace, they gave up the fight for their kids. They were okay with losing their kids. Because if they wouldn't, they would have did what the social services asked. They would have went to these meetings. They got the house clean. They did do that. I'm not going to lie on them. I went in the house. The house was clean. There's some things in it that could have been fixed for sure. But all in all, country living, it wasn't terrible. They did a lot, still had a hole in the floor, but Don, here's one thing I thought about Don Wells is He had $1 million mindset and a $3 budget. Okay. Ain't got no money, but he's talking about, I was like, Don, why don't you put stairs in here yet? He goes, I've been thinking about putting some stairs. I want to do some oak and some, like, listen, dude, you live in a shack on a hill. If you put some damn oak stairs in here, the stairs will be worth more in your house. Right. So he has this $1 million mindset and a $3 budget. If you understand what I'm saying, like, you're a big dreamer, but let's get to reality of what you can do and what needs to be done. Like, somebody has to bring you down from that. Hey, dude, you're living in fucking fantasy land. You're not doing all that. You're talking about building some mansion stairs in a dungeon. You know what I'm saying? That it just don't even sound right. Right. $650 car payment was silly. Dolly, I had to sleep on the kitchen floor, and I really thought all the other kids slept on the kitchen floor. Well, listen, I can tell you this. If you're loved, it don't matter where you sleep. Okay? You can live in a cardboard box. If there's love inside that cardboard box, you live in a home. You can live in a $1 million mansion, and if there's no love in there, you just live in a $1 million mansion. It ain't a home, it's a house. All right. If you loved, listen, I slept on the floor. There's a ton of us, right? There's sometimes, things are crazy and hectic, but I was loved. Like, if you take the love out of it, yeah, sleeping on the floor ain't that bad. If you're sleeping on the floor with people that love and care about you, that's called roughing it. You had it hard, but that ain't bad, right? Some kids have it bad, sleeping on the floor and nobody gives a shit about them. That's when it's bad. Okay. Like, if you're loved and cared for and the only place you got to sleep on the floor, you sleep on the floor. I've slept on the floor many a night, bathroom floor, you get a few drinks. I'll be right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it. Sleep where you fall. If you come from a big family, you know about a bunch of people sleeping in one bed and stuff like that. But if you come from a small family, you may not understand that. Or if you come from a family where you've roughed it and not been rich, some people are born with silver spoons in their mouth and some people ain't. Some people have to rough it a little bit harder than most people. While some families were probably eating hot dogs and hamburgers, I may have been eating butter beans and cornbread, but I'm still eating. I'm still loved, still cared for, so, like, that's what I'm saying. It's just, if you take the love out of the picture, like, if it was a loving home, that dungeon and that shit that they got going on, I could see the boys being there, right? It's a little bad. It's a little rough. Yeah. But, but when you take out the love and nobody gives a shit about you and then throw in some kids on a shack in a dungeon, then that's when it gets a little twisted up, See, my mom is magic in the kitchen, or we wouldn't have always eaten, but we had love to the max. That's what I'm talking about. That's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with being poor. It sucks when you poor and nobody gives a shit about you. Your own family don't take care of you. The people that you look for comfort, and they would spit on you and eat a sandwich in front of you, and you sit there hungry. That ain't what it's about. And here's another thing is Don Wells made good money, and them kids were living allegedly off like frozen pizzas and shit, like junk food, while he's out spending money on drugs. The bad thing about this is we look at Don and Candace like they were poor, but they wasn't. Don Wells was a boss man on the job. He wasn't just like some worker working at a fast food joint. He was probably making $25, $26 an hour in Tennessee, which is good money. Now, that might not be the greatest money here where I live, but to live on the hill, for you own the house, you don't owe no rent. You're probably using well water, so you ain't got no bills. You paying the electric bill and buying food, and your kids are using a toaster oven to cook a frozen pizza. Not waking up to breakfast. Can't go in there and make no sandwich. That's horrible because they could have lived way differently. He had the money to fix his house. I remember one thing was the funniest thing that old Benny Keys ever said was, this man wanted me to put up drywall in his house. Because, Benny Keys wanted to help him with his house. And Don Wells is a drywall guy. And he was like, Don Wells wanted me to hang drywall in his house. And he's a drywall guy. Hang your own damn drywall. Right? His house, the thing is this, he could have fixed his house. He had the money to do it. He had the skills to do it. And he chose not to do it. He could have, he went to those classes to try to get his kids back, and he wouldn't do it. He wasn't going to take no drug test. He wasn't going to go do these classes. Candace did. Candace was taking the classes. Candace was trying to comply with CPS. Don Wells wouldn't have no parts in it. And then you get all mad when you lose the kids, but you wasn't mad. You know who you should be mad at? Yourself. They don't just snatch your kids. They give you every opportunity to try to keep your kids. They'll say, hey, you need to do this. You need to make this safe. You need to clean up. You need to make sure there's food in the refrigerator. And they couldn't do these things because they were too busy getting drunk and fighting with each other on YouTube. The truth is horrible and it sucks, but we all watched it happen, right? We all watched it happen. All right, phone lines are still open. Let me refresh them, though. Somebody sent me some stuff. Hold on. Let me see what it is they're sending. It's a squirrel. I don't know why somebody would send me an image of a squirrel, but they did. It's a cartoon squirrel. Okay. Dolly.
Yes, no, this is East Tennessee boy.
What up, East Tennessee boy?
Yeah, well, like 30 years ago, a bunch of Beach Creek boys went around and whooped the hell out of Don.
Some Beach Creek boys did?
Say what?
You said some Beach Creek boys done whipped up on them?
I said 30 years ago they would have.
Uh-huh.
And so Don told where someone was at.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He wouldn't on this long, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm surprised people ain't pushed them out that area.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you got some good people out there,
Oh, yeah. I've got some real good people out here, but like I said, they don't go for that shit.
I mean,
What they do.
I don't know what to say about the man, but not a good person. I don't want to sit up here and just go over every single bad thing he's ever done, but he has done some pretty weird shit.
That's just what I'm saying. This is 30 years ago. A bunch of boys basically beat the hell out of him until he told what really happened. And I wish he wouldn't drag on like this.
Yeah. I mean, does he really know, or is this something Candace has done too? That's where it gets a little weird. I mean, by now, I think he would have to know, or
no, that's what I'm saying. Your wife might have done it, but you know all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't keep secrets from your wife, or your wife can't keep secrets from you over a year,
Yeah, I think he would know, and I was thinking with them drinking the way they would blurt it out eventually and tell, but even drunk, they ain't drank enough truth serum yet to make them tell. They've dropped clues, but
that's
not
all.
Yeah, and hopefully the FBI is on this, and we will get to wrap this up. Would be absolutely great.
That's it. Well, thank you, Dolly.
All right, you be good, brother. So, yeah, if they got something good and we get a conclusion in this, that would be the greatest thing since I started this channel. I may retire from YouTube. Dolly.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, are we on the show? I'm watching you, but it's not matching.
Yes, it's not in real time, so you need to turn me off in the background. And yes, you're on the show. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Little Bit of Lisa. I'm from Northeast Arkansas.
Hey, Little Bit of
And
Lisa.
Hey, I have a question about the layout of the land between the Wells home and the hills where we're looking where they searched. If there is a short distance that could be walked between the two properties rather than going down the road.
It's 9.5 miles away. That ain't no short distance, no matter how you look at it. That's a pretty good
even through the woods, it wouldn't be closer.
No, it's a straight shot. It's pretty much a straight 9.5 mile shot. Like you would have to go down Beach Creek a ways, all the way down Beach Creek, and then Beach Creek turns. You would take a little left onto Van Hill Road. So it's a straight shot, but it's 9.5 miles straight.
No matter how you cut it. That's what I was wondering, and the reason being because they talked about Don going there to look for Summer. And I wondered if the kids were where they could just go through the woods back and forth. There was also something said about Candace leaving that property, going down the driveway. And I just thought 9 miles is a good little jog. And I just wondered if there was a closer path or anything, since they do have trails in the woods.
Well, a lot of the stuff what they were doing as far as going anywhere was they may have been going from the house to the shed. Right, that's down on Beach Creek, which it's a little trail. I don't know if you can see this on my screen. I'll try to pull it over here.
I'm looking, yeah.
If you're at the house, Ben Hill Road, there's a little area you can walk down, and it's right here to the side. Like, I don't know if you see my cursor, but it goes down to this barn here. Now, you can walk down that, and I'm sure the kids used to go down there and play. So, but far as walking 9 miles, I don't see no kids walking quite that far. That's on foot. You're talking a 2-hour walk.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if there was a shorter way, because that question just kept coming up for me, and nobody had actually looked at that in a way that we could see. Yeah, that 9 miles was as close as you could get walking as the bird flies.
Average adult walks a mile about every 12 to 15 minutes.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
You're talking about a child taking less steps than that. So you would up that. So every mile would be, let's say, 20 minutes. Now you're talking a 2.5 hour walk for a small child. So I don't think them kids were walking that far. And then to walk back, you're talking another 2.5 hours. You're talking 5 hours of walking, so I don't think.
So for Summer if Summer got to the Hill property, she would have had to been transported pretty much.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's been the question.
She didn't walk that far down a major road. And Beach Creek is pretty busy because people use it as a cut through. So even though it's in the middle of nowhere, it actually is pretty heavy in traffic. So
I hope some other people were wondering this too, and weren't sure like me.
Yeah,
I mean, we'd like to.
I mean, if it was like 9 miles by road, but like 3 miles through a cut through in the woods, I can understand it. But no, it's a 9 mile straight shot. 9.5
there's
miles.
no way to get around. It's not curving back on itself, so there's no way to get past that 9 miles. I gotcha.
Yeah. So,
well, that was a big question for me. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad you called. It was good talking to you.
You too.
All right.
I'll be watching.
You be good. All right. Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right. So hold on. I'm reading this email. I'm trying to get on this TV show. All right. All right. I'm just reading what they said. Okay. Well, they're working on the pilot of this TV show now. I'm trying to get on. Y'all want to see Dolly on TV? Anybody? Y'all want to see me on a TV show? All right. If I get me a spot, it might be just an extra. I might get killed or be a zombie or something. But I'm trying to get in on this TV show that these people are shooting. And matter of fact, they're shooting it in Tennessee. Okay. So I'd had to go to Tennessee to take part in it, but I'm trying to get me a spot in it. So, dang, you can barely walk to the bathroom. Okay. And what's these Dolly zombie? Okay, because I think they picked the cast because they've already shot the pilot, but it's like a, from what I'm hearing, it's The Walking Dead meets Mad Max, like post-apocalyptic zombie type thing. And I just think that has Dolly written all over it, right? So I'm gonna see if I can get me a little role in that, and you guys can watch it, right? Support Dolly. We'll see how that works out. You know, never hurts to try. But anyway, yeah, Summer Wells didn't walk 9.5 miles. We have all these people that are related, connected to the property that the FBI is searching. Like if I was Fred Hill, I'd be worried. If I was Andy, I'd be a little worried, right? Now they may not have nothing to do with it. Maybe their family happened to be over there because they lived there and they did something. You an actor now? I'm the best actor in the business. I started acting. Okay. I'm the OG at everything. No, I did I had a part in a music video a long time ago. I was a zombie in a music video for this band. It wasn't my band. It was another band that was an up and coming band, and they were shooting a video and they needed zombies, and I went out and was a zombie in the video. For a dude that shoots movies. The producer was a pretty famous producer that produced the music video. But I was a zombie in that music video. So I got some zombie experience, right? Me and my baby's mama, we were both in that music video. So, but far as movie stuff, yeah, I ain't never did no movie stuff or TV show stuff, which would be cool. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Yes.
Give us your theory on what you think happened to Summer.
My theory? Oh, you got to tell us who you are and where you're calling from first.
Well, this is Alabama calling, and this is Debbie.
Debbie, okay.
And I was just wondering, what is your theory?
My theory. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I believe this is all drug related. I believe a lot of these people are tied to a drug ring, and I believe there's money owed. There was some debt, or there were some problems between people, and they snatched Summer. At first, I thought Summer had passed away in a car. I thought she had tragically, accidentally.
Right.
But now I'm leaning more towards somebody actually grabbed Summer, and this is all behind drugs because they done made somebody mad, or they interfered in something, or ripped somebody off. But all these people out there in that holler, they were all involved in people. And then you look at it, when Don got arrested, other people started to get arrested. Then they busted a few different drug rings in that area. So I'm thinking that this has something to do with drugs, and somebody grabbed her. And even Don said they were supposed to bring her back and didn't. Why would he say something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And remember, he said at one time, we just got her back. Back from where?
I mean, I don't know. Some people were alleging that he was loaning this kid out to people. I'm just going to say loaning, but and I mean, I don't know if that's true, but it seems like if the rumors are true, then, he was abusing her and he was allowing other people to abuse his daughter. And listen, I was watching a show, this dude, Skeeter Gene, he does a show on YouTube, and he had approached this dude, and this guy was he met him in a chat room, and this guy was going to let him abuse his daughter. But he catches those type of people and turns them into the police. And he turned this guy into the police. But this guy was just going to let him do bad things to his daughter. Just to do it. Like weird. Like who would do something like, I mean, he was just a sick guy.
Right.
So I don't know
Right.
if Skeet it in 4K. So see, a lot of people watch Skeeter, right? Definitely.
Right.
And I was
Right.
just thinking, well, if this dude, there's people out there that are doing really strange things that don't make sense to normal people, because normal people wouldn't do something like that.
Right.
But some people,
Right.
they have this disconnect with their children, and they don't. It's bad, but it happens. I mean, it happens a lot. I just
Right.
so,
Right.
but he ended up
Bless
going to
Summer's heart.
that guy ended up going to prison, of course, and I hopefully something they put his kid in a nice home, or she went with family members that wouldn't abuse her. But yeah, I mean, it happens. I ain't saying Don did that. I'm just saying he's been accused of that. So
Yes.
I just don't think it's
He has
normal.
he has a dark soul.
And I can tell you this. You know how they were saying they were taking showers together?
Yeah.
The thing about this is I've been in Don Wells's bathroom. The shower is like a one-man shower. It's not like a big walk-in shower. It's
Right.
little. It's tiny. Like you are rubbing up against each other. You put another person in there. It's tiny.
Well,
Like, and I looked at it. That's the first thing that
Candace.
crossed my mind. I was like, now I can see he's in a big walk-in shower, and he got the boys in the shower with him, because at a gym, men shower in the same area. It's no walls. You go to the
Right.
gym, you take a
Right.
shower in front of everybody. We all got the same thing. It's normal, but
Right.
that's usually I could see him showering with his sons, and I wouldn't think too much of it. But when you start saying,
And nor do I.
but when you get into the
But
opposite sex, now if she was in the
yeah.
shower with Candace, it wouldn't be no big deal, right? She's showering with
Correct.
her mother, it wouldn't be a big
Yes.
deal. But
Lord
yeah,
have mercy.
that's what is hard to, and he says it's harmless, but it just sounds terribly bad. Maybe it was harmless,
Yeah.
but it just sounds really, 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 really bad.
Yeah.
So,
Not right. Not right.
I honestly
Well,
think I don't think he would, if you're doing this, I don't think he would have continued to keep doing it. Why get rid of her? You know what I'm saying? I think somebody did snatch her. I think it has to do with Candace's friend and her being connected to that spider dude and that drug ring that they were involved in. And I think that's why I think they know who did it, but they don't want to say nothing because these people may come back and try to hurt them. I don't know.
Holy moly.
That still don't tie the heels into it unless Fred Hill was tied in with the spider guy. You know what I'm saying? And then it would start to make
right.
sense.
Yes.
That he's a distributor for the spider guy that was later on busted. Because you got to remember, Don went to jail, then Fred went to jail, then the spider dude went to jail, then his associates went to jail. So maybe they started working their way up the drug ring, and I mean, I don't know. It's just a guess. I mean,
right.
I have no clue. But that's my thought.
Well, I appreciate everything you do, and we're all here for you, Dolly.
All right. You have a good one.
All right.
All right. Peace. I mean, listen, there's a million theories out there. That's just mine. Okay. I've had a couple different ones. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would probably said she died in the car from heat stroke or dry drowning. And, the whole milk theory that she was laying on the milk, she was overheated. I would probably went with that. But just lately, I've been thinking somebody grabbed this kid. And I believe Don and Candace know. I mean, I don't think it's just like some stranger that grabbed the kid. This is somebody that they know they were involved with a bunch of bad people doing bad shit. And they got in over their head. And now these people have grabbed Summer Wells. I mean, I'm just trying to make it because most of the time, it's going to be something that's logical. Okay. Don sleeping nude with Summer and with Girls Gone Wild on TV is a essay. Oh, I don't know. Was he watching Girls Gone Wild on TV? Just that's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Just weird in general to me. Like, listen, I'm a father. I have a daughter. There's never one time in my life that I've ever took a shower with my kid. Okay. Never. That just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Right. Because one, But me and my baby mom were together till Tiffany was like 9, 10 years old. By that time, she could take a shower by herself. So usually her mother gave her a bath, right? And 90% of the time, probably 95% of the time, changed her diapers. So, and then she was potty trained pretty young. So I never really had that problem. But yeah, I just don't see it, right? Tiff had her own room. She slept in her own bed. She didn't sleep with me and my baby's mama a lot, nothing. And Tiff now is pretty damn independent, right? She's 25, about to be 26. She'll be 26 here soon. And pretty independent. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that your kids can't sleep with you. If you ain't a weirdo, there's nothing wrong with your child sleeping with you, right? Getting scared in the middle of the night, coming and crawling into bed, nothing wrong with it. But if you're a creepo, it's totally different. Now, I ain't never been the one to really sleep naked, only in the summer if it's super, super hot and the air conditioning ain't keeping up, maybe. But usually I'll sleep with whatever the hell I got on. Matter of fact, sometimes I'll pull my hoodie over my head and go to sleep. Like, I'll wake up and still have my shoes on sometimes. When I get tired, I just fall out wherever I fall out. And I wake up, I'll be like drool stuck in my face. And, I'm real. Ain't no shame in my game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm done. Right. It's over with. Like, I'm on the verge of being dead. So I don't know. Hopefully we get some answers in this case. And, because I think that's what everybody wants, just some answers. Dolly.
Yes, it's Tennessee back, Dolly.
Okay, what up, East Tennessee back?
I wanted to ask you about the drug dealer.
Uh-huh.
How much do you think a drug dealer let a man go up before he kidnaps a kid?
Well, I mean, it depends. If you front in a large amounts or quantity to somebody, your debt can get high pretty quickly. Let's say you get something and you get robbed. Look, a matter of fact, Austin Drummond, they had them, his family out there transporting and sending drugs into the prison. And then, of course, he killed one package, got lost, and he killed the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So you said one package was enough for them to die.
Yeah, but why would the drug dealer kidnap a kid? He's going to have to feed, and he's washing his back. He's a drug dealer, right?
Yeah.
Why would he want the kid to watch more? To have to watch more of it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what type of criminal you are. If you're a petty criminal, usually they ain't going to do that, and you wouldn't really be able to you would have to have somebody. We're talking drug ring. We're not talking just drug dealer. We're talking organized crime. When you starting to move stuff like this, you're dealing with motorcycle gangs. You're dealing with bad people, and bad people will do some bad shit.
Well, I know that because
you got to remember, back in the day, all that stuff was moved by bikers. That's a biker type thing that's being sold. That and truckers and bikers usually deal in the ups.
It's layoff for truckers.
I'm just saying that's what they're known for, being of their choice. You know what I'm saying? Because long hauling, staying up for days at a time.
Yes.
So I mean, in that world, that's usually where, it's usually rougher people that sell the harder stuff. Like, it ain't a surfer dude selling you a Nick bag you know what I'm saying? It's some bad person selling you something. And I mean, I don't know. It's just they were surrounded by so many bad people, and you had a dude right in the holler selling that stuff, which was Fred. So where was he getting this stuff? So for him to get it, he's bringing in that element of bad to the holler any way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just a theory. I'm not positive that's exactly what happened, but that's what I'm thinking happened. Me, myself. Now, that's just my opinion. Everybody has a different opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Bikers would not hurt a kid. It depends what type of biker you're talking about. right?
I know a lot of bikers. I know a lot of bikers.
I'm not saying
I
a
know,
biker would hurt the kid. I'm saying some of these bikers are involved in organized crime. That's a fact.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Truck drivers. I used to drive a truck myself.
So I got CDL Class A. So I mean,
I had Class A with hazmat.
oh, you got
And
with
triple.
hazmat?
Yep, and triple.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, I just don't see a drug dealer letting a debt get that big. I mean, you know,
Not
10, hey, $20,000 is a lot of money to a drug dealer. To organized crime, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I can't see a organization grabbing somebody over $20,000 over.
I've seen people get killed for as much as $100.
Damn, you live in the wrong place, though. You better move on back there.
Yeah, I've seen people get killed for change.
Well, I've seen people get killed for a piece of brownie, you know what I'm saying?
So I mean, to say $20,000, you're talking some people. That's enough to take your whole family out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't understand it, but I guess you're right.
You know.
Thank you, Dolly.
All right, you be good.
Yeah, Dolly.
All right, peace. I want to use this as an example real quick. You think people won't hurt you over a little bit of money? There was 50 Cent was on like 106 in Park, right? I know a lot of y'all might not listen to rap music, but I just want to tell you what he said to the guy. He said something about hitting the guy, and the guy said, well, if you did that, I would look at it like a come up because I'm going to sue you for like all this money. He goes, no, you ain't, because that money that you would get from me for suing me, I'll give to somebody else to make sure you ain't here. You see what I'm saying? He was like, you won't sue me, because if you attempt to sue me, the money that I would lose to you, I would give to these young kids to make sure your ass was 6 foot underground. So people will kill you. The more of the story is, for damn near nothing. Okay, it's like look, people get killed all the time in robberies for like $10, $20. People shoot and kill the pizza man. Okay, you know the pizza boy ain't got but $20. People shoot and kill them all the time. So I'll tell y'all a prime example. I used to work construction during the day. All right, and at night I delivered pizzas because I could ride around and smoke. Right. And I just needed extra money. Plus, I was bored at night. I was single. So I was working construction during the day, and I was delivering pizzas at night. And I had no problem with it. I actually enjoyed it. It was I liked the people I worked with. It was just like fun to me, right? But there was this place that sat next to where I worked was like a Chinese place. And the delivery area was in the same area that I delivered to. And the dude went to deliver some food. He was shot and killed over like $20. I quit that day. I said, you know what? I was like, I don't need this. I was like, my life is worth. I didn't need the money, first off, and then be like, well, people are getting killed out here, and they didn't even catch the person that killed them. I was like, yeah, I'm not delivering out here anywhere. Oh, hell no. And so to think people won't kill you over a little bit of money or a debt, oh, you're so wrong. You borrow from the wrong people, and you can easily lose your life. I mean, you get out the car at the wrong store, you can lose your life. I mean, it's a little less likely when you're in a country area, but look, even my daughter, and I was talking about putting something on my car, and she said, Dad, you know you live in the hood, right? And I was like, yeah, but you know, she was like, I don't want you to get hurt. So, you know, I drive a really nice car and I live in the hood. People may think I got more than I got, and I go to get out that car. Tiff was right. It kind of scared me a little bit. She's like, I wouldn't be doing too much more to your car. Right? She was like, it already looks expensive. You look like you got money, even though I'm broke as hell, right? And you're going to go to get out this car one night and somebody may do something bad to you. And I don't want that to happen to you. And I was thinking, you know, this kid is smart. Smart. She's like, you know, but she grew up in this area too. She lived, you know, in the same area where there's crime. That crime is like, there's 2 kids on the street got shot and they still ain't caught their killers, and even teenage kids. So, somebody see you get out of something that they think is, you got something, they don't realize that you're still paying for it. They just see something flashy and go, oh, well, this dude must have money. No, bitch, I'm paying for this expensive ass car you about to hijack me for, right? So it's just, you got to be, what do they call it? They got a word for it in the hood. They catch you slacking, or you flexing, right? Like you out here and just not good. You just don't want to get caught slipping around. But then again, if I usually go somewhere at night, I don't usually drive the nice car. Usually in the daytime, I drive the nice car. At night, I got a beater. I'm usually in my truck, right? But that's what she said to me. She was like, listen, I wouldn't be putting too much, flashiness to your car, because it's already like super nice for the area you live in. And, you don't want to get robbed and hurt. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. And that came from my kid. So you got to think about that. For people will hurt you for nothing. They think you got something they don't got, and they're willing to take it from you. Listen to your kid, Dolly. Right. And, I get it. I mean, it ain't the first nice car I've had, but my other car was really nice too. But I used to always carry 2 firearms on me at all times. I'd have one in the car and one personally on me at all times. If I ever walked out, because I lived in a worse area before. So the area I lived in before was, you go anywhere, you carry a gun. I lived in downtown Norfolk, right on the border of downtown Norfolk. And you didn't go anywhere without a gun. So, yeah, I always carried 2 just in case. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, never had to do anything, right? But my other car was flashy too. And I realized that I was a lot younger, and I would go out more at night and be in pretty bad places. So I always was strapped up. And but nowadays, like I don't tend to always carry something with me. I mean, I could if I want to, but I don't tend to. I don't tend to go as many places in the middle of the night either. So you said you always got the heat. I mean, it depends where you live, right? Like, I don't think we always need it. It depends where we're going. Like, there's nights that me and PJ go out, I say grab it, right? There's some nights we go out and I don't. It depends where we're going to be. Usually traveling, we always got something on us, right? We're in areas we don't know. We usually always good to go. You know what I'm saying? But here locally, I don't always, I shouldn't tell people that, but I don't always, it depends. It depends on the situation. But like I said, when I was young, I would always carry 2 with me, one in the car and one in my pocket or on my hip, so I had concealed weapon stuff. And PJ, she thinks she's a ninja. You know what I'm saying? She's like my security these days. Like, you got to get past PJ to even get to me. But far as like, every now and then I will run to the store at night. But I try not to be lacking. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty aware of my surroundings. You got family that carries. Well, I mean, you got to stay safe out here. I mean, like I said, people act like, there's got to be a large amount of money for somebody to want to hurt you, but people get hurt for nothing, right? Just to hurt you. We live in a crazy world, and I get it. And I really wasn't even thinking about it like that, but how Tiff was thinking about it. Like, listen, you go out looking like you got all this and that, somebody's going to want some of that. And that is the truth. Like some people are struggling and hurt you for $1. Dude, what's your problem? What do you mean, fuzzy bedhead? Open carry here. I will end to say Sheriff Lawson blew it. She's a smart cookie. Dolly.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Anita from Louisiana.
Hey, Anita, you need to turn me down in the background or we're going to echo really bad.
So sorry. There we go. That better?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wanting to know what has changed because I have missed something. I kept up with Summer Wells forever, and then I gave it a little bit of a break, and I know something has changed recently, and I was just wondering what exactly is going on.
Well, the FBI had raided a property 9 miles from Ben Hill Road and in search for Summer Wells. And that property belonged to the Hill family, which, you know, you had Frank Hill that lived on Ben Hill Road. And this is his family's property that the FBI, TBI, and Hawkins County Police have been focused on. So it has something to do with that property that was reported. It came in as a tip to the FBI. And apparently it was something credible enough for them to send the FBI out there, the TBI out there in the Hawkins County Police. So we don't know exactly what the tip was or who's talking. So right now it's just a lot of speculation on what's going on and what has led them to this address on Van Hill Road.
I see.
So something's going on, but the FBI is not talking. So the internet is guessing, right? We're playing the guessing game right now of what's happening. But whatever it is has to do with the Hill family. And the only Hill that was around there at that time was Fred Hill, and that's Don Wells' neighbor.
Yeah. He's a 70-year-old?
The man that owns the house is 80 years old, but he is he is the grandson of the guy that owns the house.
I gotcha.
So it would be his granddad's house, and they run a tree service. And apparently the FBI has been out there searching his property. And so either it's connected to his family or it's connected to him, but we don't know. You know, right now it's just total speculation.
Well, it would be so nice to get some resolution in this because Summer was the first case I ever really got really sucked into. Like, there's something about that baby girl. I don't know.
It got me like that too. I mean, this is the reason I have a true crime channel now is because of Summer Wells. It's not the first true crime case I covered, but what it was the one to make me decide that, hey, I'm going to start a true crime channel to try to help these missing kids. So
it's something about her. It just grips you, and you can't seem to let go of it, and you want justice for her.
Yes, that's how I felt about it. It was more of a heartbreaking story for me. Sad, like,
oh, for real.
I didn't even know I had feelings until I was like, oh man, what could I do? Like, and I still remember to this day, I was thinking to myself, I'm only one person. What can I do to help? You know,
you've done a lot. You have.
I know now that I look back at it.
The name out there has been excellent.
But at the time, I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know nothing about true crime like that. So I was just thinking to myself, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And this is what I came up with. And here we are 4.5 years later. So it's been a long journey.
There's a little boy that went missing about 12 miles from where I live. Little black boy. And they searched for him, and then it was just like there's a couple posters up here and there, but it's like that child's been forgotten.
Yeah, I mean
no mention of him, and it's just heartbreaking.
It happens. That's what I'm saying. Some of these kids get special attention, and I would definitely say Summer Wells has gotten special attention. Sebastian Rogers, special attention. But you look at like Jack and Lily Sullivan from Nova Scotia. Nobody talks about these kids. They got no national attention. None.
Yeah.
Like some people, if it's good for ratings, the news talk about it. But if it's not, they just skip them over. That's why I always say, if you're blonde hair and blue eyes and you go missing, you got a good chance people gonna look for you. If you're if you're a college student, they're gonna come find you. They make a big deal about college students, but everybody in between that, they get lost in the shuffle. It's sad. Because I think every life's just as important as everybody else. My life is no more valuable than your life,
Yeah.
So that's how I look at kids.
Of course, Summer had hell on earth. It sounds like basically her whole life.
Yeah, not the best. Not the best.
It's really a rough life and heartbreaking for her. So
the dysfunctional family thing is, I think, is
terrible.
what done it for me. Is like, man, did this girl even stand a real chance?
Don't sound like it, honestly.
I'm surprised she made it as long as she made it, to be honest.
Yeah, tough little girl.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it that when you're from the South, you got to be a little tougher, a little rougher, than your average, I would say, Northerner. Y'all Northern people are soft, but in the South, you come up a little bit rougher, a little bit tougher. Anyway, I get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
little town girl. With all their brothers too,
Yeah, you're gonna run around barefooted. You're gonna have some scrapes and some bruises and red.
Oh, I did that.
Some red clay and shit on you.
Climbing trees and dresses.
Yeah, a couple stitches here and there, but like, I get it, but it was a little bit more than that. If it would have just been the tomboy thing, it was the alleged abuse and alleged possible SA and all that stuff that made the case so heartbreaking.
Going on, you get a sense of that from Don. Honestly,
it's terrible, and I think that's what rips so many people's hearts out when you see her. And just she's a pretty little girl and big smile, and you see that, and you just think, man, like, how could you do this to such a pretty kid? And there's so many people out there that would love this child and give her the best life in the world, and you just destroy that. Like, same thing with like Michael Monkey Vaughn. Like, how could they hurt that kid? Like, I've always wanted a son. There's people out there with special or parents like Elijah View, not Elijah View, but Emmanuel Harrow, where you're a father and you kill your son. There's men out here that would love to have that kid that play G.I. Joe and and just have that four-wheelers and riding dirt bikes. I had a girl, so I didn't get to do none of the cool stuff. So when I see people, especially like Quentin Simon, I'd have adopted that kid. That kid would have had the best life he could have ever possibly had, and somebody just hurt him for no reason because they didn't give it two shits.
I would have took Summer or Sebastian, either one. It wouldn't have mattered to me. I can't stand that kind of thing happening to children. It just breaks me.
I don't know if I could take a kid that's 16, even right now. I don't think I could give you the best life at 6. I possibly could, but I just don't think a 16-year-old kid would be that, rewarding.
Probably wouldn't be easy, but
not easy and not as rewarding. I think I could give more to a smaller kid. And
definitely they're easier.
And build that. I ain't saying I couldn't build a relationship with a 16, 17. Like when I see Josie up for adoption, I'm thinking he's just too big. He's a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
also they're very damaged, I think, already. It's very sad.
Yeah, and I just think if I adopted a kid, it would have to be a kid that's in the 8 to 10-year-old range. You
want to be able to make a difference.
Yeah, and not deal with a baby. I wouldn't want to deal with a baby. You know what I'm saying? I want you at the age that we can go out and play catch, and I can take you places, and I can show you how to be a man type thing. When you 16, 17 years old, you've already had that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could build you may be able to, but I think I could build a bond better, with somebody in the age of that.
Didn't sound like Sebastian had a whole lot of that bonding and catch and all that. It sounded like he was very neglected, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't look at Chris like, I don't know. Chris taught him how to ride a bike, and I don't know what else they done because it's not all videoed, but I hope Sebastian got to go out there and play catch and that type of stuff. I mean, I don't personally know if he did or not, but him a little bit different because you would have to be a little easy on Sebastian because he had that water pocket on his brain.
Yeah.
So I guess at the activities that you do with him, you would have to make sure it was something that wouldn't get him hurt,
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah.
But
my goodness.
All right. Well, look, hey, I appreciate you calling. You be good.
I appreciate talking to you. It's first time.
All right. Awesome talking to you. Nice to meet you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. Yeah, if I had to take in a kid that was 16 and 17 before I would let you off them, I would. But if I was to say, hey, Dolly's gonna go out and adopt a kid, I would be looking for a kid about 8 to 10 years old. Somebody in about the third or fourth grade that I can be like, hey, let's go ride go-karts, let's go get on four-wheelers, let's get dirt bikes, let's play damn G.I. Joe, right? Because I'm a big kid, right? I don't want to just raise a grown-ass man. I mean, you'd have somebody to hang out with, but it wouldn't be, play video games. You could play video games with 16, 17-year-old, but I'd rather have the toys, so I can be a kid again kind of thing. So that's what I'm saying. I think I could give a good life to somebody, but when you see these people just hurt kids for no reason, there's a million people out there that would love to have that kid. So it blows my mind that people could do this. And, in having a kid is a blessing from God. Like I wouldn't give my daughter up for $1 million, $2 million. You can buy her. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't, but I'm saying she's priceless to me. You know what I'm saying? And these people that would sell their kids into trafficking and hurt their kids or abuse their kids or pimp their kids out. And you don't think this happens, but believe it or not, it happens a lot, like a shit ton. But anyway, am I froze on the screen? I am absolutely froze. Let me see if I can unfreeze myself. Okay, can you guys hear me? Give me the thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm still froze. I am froze as can be on the screen. I think that's a sign from little Jesus. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me? Yes, y'all can hear me. Okay, well, look, with that said, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I will be back tomorrow. And we're going to be covering a little bit of the Ashley Buzzard stuff. What is going on with her and Melanie Buzzard. Also, maybe we'll drop a little more depending on what comes out in this Summer Wells case. So if you're still here and haven't liked the video yet, definitely like the video, sub up the channel. If you're watching and you're not a member yet out there, make sure you sub up the channel. We need everybody we can. I can't hit that 100,000 without the help of each and every one of you. So definitely sub up the channel. And replay crew, leave some comments. And you guys also leave some comments because I can't always see what you're saying in the chat. So if you're still watching, make sure you tell me what you believe your theory is on what happened this summer in the comment box down below. And I will see you guys later. Peace. Oh, yeah. And don't forget Dolly Soap's half off. Promo code Dolly Vision. Buy DollySoap.com. All right. Now I'm out. Peace.